minutes of football. 30 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 minutes of football.
What up, everybody? Welcome to 30 Minutes of Football, our pre-show to Bare Their Souls, which starts in 30 minutes. I am here with, of course, Danikin from Three Kings of the Midway. Danikin, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Had a great rehab session today and ready for another one tomorrow. By the way, Petty King says, top of the evening, Happy New Year, Danikin. I have zero faith in this defense. Unfortunately, I got that team up north winning 14. Damn.
Ooh.
That a friend of yours or enemy?
Yeah. No, there's no enemy. No enemy. I mean, he's a cool guy for sure.
Good to hear. All right, so Danikin and I are going to go through his 5 points that he jotted down while watching last week's game. And point number 1 is slow starts continue to hurt this team. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah. You just look at what they have going on, and it seems like every single week we have a different situation where they just can't seem to get things going, the ball rolling in the right direction. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the slow starts are becoming to be a problem. They're a big problem. They've been a problem. It was a situation where we were kind of okay for a little while. They were going through the motions of things. They would have a nice opening drive or two, and then the offense would die down. The last couple of games, though, it's just been really, really bad from start. And it's just a slow process. And then all of a sudden it gets going in the fourth quarter. But sometimes that's just a little bit too late, man. Especially when you're playing some of the better teams in the league. You have to
Mm-hmm.
get off to a better start than what they're currently doing. So we're having that issue right now. We're having that problem. It has to be remedied. They have to find a way to be able to get past that and get out of that low, you might say. Um, Otherwise, they're going to be in very big trouble, especially in the playoffs, man, because the teams just get better and better and better that you're in the playing. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to always be able to come back at the end. Starting off slow, having issues from jump is just not a good look for the team in general. And the Bears want to put themselves in this position. And that's something that I see time and time again. They're putting themselves in in the hole early, and then they're trying to find a way to dig themselves out of it. Game after game after game has been happening all season. It's just not really winning football. You know what I mean? At
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you can't consistently do that every single week.
That is absolutely correct. Declan Doyle, the Bears' offensive coordinator, was asked today about what was the difference regarding that last Green Bay Packers game where they got off to a good start. Unfortunately, that first drive was ruined by a bad play call, in my opinion, by Ben Johnson when he had that trick play between Cole Kmet's legs. But this is what Doyle said about that fast start against Green Bay.
Yeah, I think we came out, we were ready to go that night, and certainly that's what we've been looking for, in the previous games as well. Can't point at one specific thing that's causing that, and yet it's a huge point of emphasis for our guys really going into this game, knowing what kind of game this is. In these playoff games, you really can't put, if you start slow, a lot of times you give the ball back to them and you can put your defense in a really challenging position. And so the biggest thing with us playing complementary football is us getting out to that fast start, having urgency right from the first snap, and being able to go out and execute the plan, really execute the openers and be able to go put points on the board.
Sense of urgency is what's needed by all 40-plus players suiting up for the Green Bay games Saturday. I think that's the major headline of what he's saying, and it sounds to me it's what you're saying too.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a sense of urgency. You have to have they come out and in that game, I think a lot of people looked at that game and you could see that they were kind of lackadaisical. They weren't really, I don't know if you want to say locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they were, it was just going through the motions kind of. And it's like, man, you can't do that. You know what I mean? I understand that y'all feel like you can turn it on and things like that, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to have a sense of urgency, understand that, hey, this is what we got to do. We got to go out here and accomplish the goal and the task at hand, and see if you can get it done. And right now, they're just not doing that. They're not
That
doing
is
that.
correct. All right, that leads to the second point, which is you believe that the Lions were just a more physical team in that game on Sunday. Tell us what you saw.
Well, I mean, you can see it in the trenches, right? So at the end of the day, you look at this team and you say, okay, what's happening in the trenches? What's going to go on in defensive trenches and also on the offensive side? And in my opinion, the Lions controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They had the ability to run the ball consistently, pretty much put pressure on our quarterback whenever they wanted to, and that wore the Bears down over the course of the game. Over the course of the game, that wore the Bears down. Defensively, they were worn down at the end of the game. Um, and they controlled the line of scrimmage. Whenever you have time of possession in your corner the way they had it pretty much the entire game. At
Mhm.
one point, I think the Bears had run about 30 plays and they were at like 55 or something like that. It was something crazy. So when you have 10 plus, minutes of time of possession, you're controlling everything on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And at that point, the defense is getting tired. Your offense is doing three and outs. You know what I mean? And you're not really like Declan Doyle said, you're not playing complementary football. You're not playing, and you have to play complementary football in order to get good field position, in order to get some of the things and benefits that you need to kind of influence the game in your direction. And they're not able to do that because once again, they're being controlled at the line of scrimmage, and they're pretty much doing what they wanted to do to the Bears.
Is that the only game that, in your opinion, the Bears were out physicaled, or do you recall seeing another game this season?
Yeah, I saw another game this season where they lost 52. They gave up 52 points to Detroit. What was it, week 2? So,
Yeah, that
that
was
in
everything.
that game,
Outsmarted.
they the same thing,
Yeah, everything
same
they lost
situation. I mean, they were out physical. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for
Definitely,
sure.
definitely.
Very true. And
Most of the
that,
time, it hasn't been that way. Most of the time, though. I mean,
yeah,
the Bears
exactly.
are a team that has, their physicality has gotten much
Mhm.
better over the course of the season. But for whatever reason, when they're going up against Detroit, they seem to have a tough go when it comes to the physicality part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I mean, that's been one of the things they've branded themselves off this year is that they
Hmm.
were the more physical team throughout the season. In the trenches, particularly the offensive line was just manhandling people. But do you think that part of the reason is that Dan Campbell, like Cliff said in the chat, that was the Lions Super Bowl game. They were so pissed off at not making the playoffs and embarrassed by that he really challenged that team to come out and kick some ass. And perhaps the Bears, like Ben Johnson said, they watered down the offense. They didn't have that sense of urgency. They had the playoffs spot locked up. Do you think that had something to do with it? Just Dan Campbell kind of out motivating Ben Johnson?
Yeah, that could possibly have something to do with it, but I don't like that excuse. I don't like that mentality either. And the reason I don't like that mentality is because the Bears are on a 2-game losing streak now. You still got the
Mm-hmm.
second seed, but you backdoored your way into that. And to me, you didn't earn the number 2 seed. You didn't earn it. You didn't win the division, right? We won the division because somebody else lost. We got the 2 seed because San Francisco couldn't connect on their situations and some of the stuff they wanted to do. So at the end of the day, we kind of fell into that. And I'd rather go into the playoffs grabbing and earning and taking what's ours, right? So
Absolutely.
I don't like the way that they're entering the playoffs. And
Mm-hmm.
and to me, that should have been motivation enough to say, hey, let's go out here and let's get it done. Let's get a city something to be proud of. Let's get a fan something to be proud. Let's be proud of what we were able to accomplish and not kind of, back our way into this situation.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, that's a perfect segue into your third point, which is offensive consistency remains an issue with this team. Go ahead, take it away, bro.
Yeah, offensive consistency, just the ability for the Bears. Um, they showed some flashes of execution and things that they were able to do, but many of their drives stalled out. They had some three and outs. They couldn't get the ball rolling. And it's just inconsistency. It remains an issue. It's been an ongoing thing. You may have a couple of drives here and there where you do something well, and then you have two or three and outs in a row. You back yourself up, penalties put you in 3rd and 20 and things like this. Those are all things that are not they're not good. And sustaining an offense for 4 quarters is still a problem for Chicago. They're not able to do it for whatever reason there is. I don't know. Um, they lull into a sense of just kind of going through the motions of the game sometimes, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, they're not able to be consistent. You know what I mean? I don't think you have to score every single time you get the ball. I don't think you have to I don't think you have to do that, but you do have to get your defense off the field. You do have to give them a rest. You do have to, you know, sometimes. You know what I mean? Those are
Mhm.
things that the Bears are not able to consistently do. If they're able to do that, then it becomes a much dangerous team. The defense becomes more dangerous. Everything changes. The dynamic of the game will change if they can have a little bit more consistency on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, indeed. And Ben Johnson first said that he counted 6 mental errors in that first quarter alone. And
Mhm.
Declan Doyle was asked, what were those errors? This was his response.
They were really at all spots. I mean, it wasn't specific to one group. There were a number of things, whether that was alignment, or that might be where we were going in relation to where the quarterback expected us to be. But certainly not clean, not our brand of football, not what our expectation is, especially at this point in the season. And that was expressed to our guys, and they know that. But the biggest thing is we got to come out, we got to put that behind us, and we have to go back to work.
What do you chalk that up to? Is that nerves?
I don't know if that's nerves. I think sometimes that happens. Obviously, you don't want it to happen late in the year. You want to be kind of at the point now where, we're kind of a machine and we're just rolling. But adversity strikes, and I thought our guys did a good job of responding later in the game. But it's just got to happen earlier. You can't put yourself in that spot and be climbing back into games, especially late in the season like this.
Danikin, do you think that maybe this team has just been tired? I mean, they got the early bye in week 5. They played 13 straight weeks. And do you think that maybe they went into this final game being tired, and so that led to sloppiness, the mental errors, and so forth? Do you give that theory any credence?
I'm not a person that likes to use those. I think they're excuses. They're not reasons. You know what I mean
Hmm.
for what you got going on at this point in time in the season, when the city is behind you and you have a little bit of energy, that should be getting you up for games. You're at home, right? It's a home game. um you're in a situation where you can seize the division, you can seize playoffs, you can seize seeding, you can get all these things, right? If that's not motivating you and that doesn't energize you, then you're in the wrong sport. You're not supposed to be playing the game of football, because
That's true.
everybody is tired. I don't care if you played 13 weeks. I don't care if you had a bye week in week 10. I don't care when the bye week was. Everybody's hurt, banged up. You know what I mean? They have some issues going on in the game of football at this point in time in the season. But this
Mhm.
is when you're supposed to come through. And this is when, you should let the fans, the energy that surrounds the team and everything else that's going on energize you as a player, motivate you as a player to say, "Hey, let's go out here and get some stuff done." So I don't
Absolutely.
I don't like that excuse at all. I really don't.
Hmm. I totally agree with you 100% there. And thank you, Fizzo Joe, for the $10 donation. Really appreciate it. I'll be buying drinks for
Sure.
everyone here at the bar room. Sounds good, brother.
Hey.
All right. So somebody had a question here about the flu bug. I was D. Staring, is the flu bug over at the Bears locker room? So when I look at the injury report, there the 2 guys practiced today despite what was called illness, and that was Nick
Mm.
McLeod and Jade Walker. So I'm assuming that they had a little bit of the flu yesterday. Walker didn't practice yesterday, but did today. And McLeod has practiced the last 2 days. Outside of that, doesn't look like there's the flu issue at Hallis Hall, which is fantastic. All right, let's get to point. Where are we on? Number 4. Here we go. That is defensive breakdowns in key moments. Talk to me.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, this is the Bears. You know, they're having breakdowns in key moments, situations where the momentum can swing. It's swinging the wrong way because the Bears are letting something happen that shouldn't be happening. So they'll have a couple of stretches where they'll play some good defense. They'll get some stops. They'll do this. They'll do that. They'll have a couple of good plays, and then all of a sudden, in the key moments, you know what I mean. And there are key moments in games. Like we talk about this time and time again. A lot of people do. Sometimes games boil down to 5 or 6 key plays. You know what I mean? 3 or 4 plays sometimes. Um, and depending on how those plays go, a lot of times that will influence the game in either direction. So you know, in some of these key moments that you have, the Bears are allowing the momentum to shift out of their direction and allowing teams to get the upper hand in that way. So I think that's a concern that should be on the table in key moments, in situations that require the Bears to kind of lock in. We don't need penalties. We don't need, letdowns, missed tackles. We don't need those types of things in those key moments because that's when the momentum shifts, and they're constantly giving the opposition this little swing of momentum that kind of propels them into a situation where can they can once again get the upper hand on Chicago. So those are issues that need to be addressed. They have to be addressed fast and quickly. And we're really, to be honest with you, running out of time. To be honest.
Oh, yeah, it's a win or you're out. That's for sure. And Dennis Allen today
Yeah.
was asked about, these flaws that were happening with the defense, and this is what he said today.
There's a lot of things that go into those things. There's us, being able to get off the field. I think the last couple of weeks we've kind of hit a deal where we haven't done a good job of getting off the field. We hadn't maintained possession as much offensively as we have in a lot of games. So that's how some of that stuff works. And yet, we had a chance to win both of those games. Comes down to the very end of the game, and you have a chance to win. Sometimes you're going to win those, sometimes you're not. But I think the more often you put yourself in those positions to have an opportunity to win, the better your opportunities are.
So Danikin, basically what he's saying there, that the defense's problems recently have been in part because they're not playing complementary football. So the offense is not keeping the other team's defense on the field. The Bears defense is going out there repeatedly, and so they're getting tired or making more mistakes or what have you. Do you buy what he's saying there?
I do. I definitely buy that. If you constantly have your defense and you leave them stranded out there, I don't care if you're, we talked about this before. There's a lot that goes into complementary football, right? It's the ability to get the guys some rest, allow the defense to kind of catch their breath. If they're, you go 3 and out and they're headed right back on the field, they're still breathing heavy from chasing people around. It's much harder to chase people than run away from them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're guessing what direction they're going. There's a lot more thinking that's involved. So mental mistakes and mental breakdowns happen. All of those things happen in when it comes to complementary football. So they got to be able to kind of combine and play some complementary football to where they can kind of give the defense a rest, give them some time, flip the fields. You know what I mean? Put them in better situations. Back the opposition up, put them inside their 20, make them make their playbook shrink to where the, the defense doesn't have to worry about the entire playbook that the opposition has. Those are all things that go hand in hand with complementary football. If you're constantly putting the guys out there in bad situations, it's just not going to bode well, and you're going to have more mistakes on the defensive side of the ball than you want to have.
Indeed. Thank you to Lutz, who matches Vizzo's donation. He says, I agree with Vizzo. Nice
Appreciate
work
you
done by
guys.
the ballroom this season. Here's a piece of my Bears. NFC North, $600 future cash. Thank you for the $10 donation. Danikin, what do you like to drink when you like to sit down and have a drink?
Man, my favorite drink to have is an old fashioned, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I like an old fashioned. That's my favorite drink.
All right. So that's what we'll be drinking when we get together.
That's
Sounds
what's
good.
up. That's
All
it.
right. All right. Final point is that the gap between these two teams is still there. I think this is going to get a lot of people riled up in the chat room.
Yeah, they're going to be upset.
Tell me what you mean by it.
Well, I mean, I have to call it how I see it, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, at the end of the day, we lost both games. We gave up plus 50 points to them in the first game. In the second game, they pretty much controlled the entire game. They had us down 16-0 in the fourth quarter. And they were able to control it. There's a gap there. I don't care if we won the division. I don't care what happened. At the end of the day, we have a gap between us and what the Lions did. They beat us both games. You know what I mean? So you have to call it how it is. You know what I mean? And I know that's going to ruffle some feathers and make some people upset, and because everybody's behind the Bears, and of course I am as well. But once again, I still have to call it how I see it. There's a gap there. There's a physicality situation that we talked about earlier that they just haven't remedied. And the Lions right now, when the Bears are, let's put it this way: the Bears in the division this year were 2-4. When you're going up against the top of the division, and you're facing some of these teams, the black and blue division, it's a competitive division, no doubt. And when you're facing those teams like Green Bay or like Detroit, I mean, this is the third game that we're about to go up against the Green Bay. It's not easy to beat somebody twice in the season, let alone face them three times and try to get two or three of those victories as well. So whenever you're in your division, you got to beat those teams. If we beat up Green Bay and Detroit, then maybe Green Bay wouldn't be in the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? If we dominated the division like we should. So when I'm speaking about this point in specific, I'm just talking about the NFC North. There's a gap there because it seems like we haven't found the solution to it. We haven't cracked the code on that gap yet. So
Right.
I hope to do that. I hope that we do that. And I'm glad we won the division. Of course, we beat up some other teams and things like that to get the division. We locked it down early, and that's great. But at the end of the day, I want to see us dominate this division. I don't want to see us win the division being 2-4. That's just not, to me, that's not, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like it, but it is a bit of a reality in that this team went from 5 wins to 11 wins, and so
Absolutely.
they're ahead of schedule. Joe says he's not putting too much stock on this last Lions game because the Bears played like they were unmotivated, as if they were waiting for the playoffs. But that's not good enough for you. I know you already, Danikin.
Joe, hey, Joe, man, I appreciate that sentiment and that thought, but that's not the way you want to go into a playoffs. You know what I mean? When you're you don't just have games to throw away in the football league, right? And when it comes to the NFL, you have to kind of get things rolling. You create bad habits, you create bad situations if you're not kind of locked in and focused. So I'd rather them be playing their best football, like Ben Johnson talked about. We need to be playing our best football in December. That's what I would want to see happen. I don't see that happening right now, unfortunately. But you know what I mean? It's always next week. We can try to turn it around, of course.
Yeah, and I think you're making solid points. Ben Johnson said it himself. We want to beat Detroit because we want to go to the playoffs on a winning note. To not win that last game was a big deal for him, and he made it clear. I think perhaps the mistake that he made was maybe not really firing up those guys the way Dan Campbell fired up his guys and having kind of a vanilla offense with no motion and so forth. So it's kind of easy for the Lions to figure out. But hopefully that's all going to change, and we're going to talk all about the Packers and Bears and how motivated the Bears are to beat the Packers. We got some great sound. We got some great opinions coming up. We got Tooch's Bears State of Affairs. Zim will be here. I don't know if Fitz is going to be here. He didn't send me one of his restaurant videos, so I hope he's here so he could at least join in the Bears conversation. And of course, Danikin, we always start Bear Their Souls with the 5-minute open, so you guys can take a look at the AI girls I created. And here we go. That's the wrong one. Why didn't I get rid of that? Shit.
We are the bearer of Bears News, the Ballroom Network.
I think the main thing's got to be the main thing, and Coach said it before that second game against Green Bay was, that we all want to win, and we all want it badly, and so does the other team. It's not a lack of who wants it more. It's going to be about who executes, who's on their details, who's on their fundamentals, and that's what's going to win out in the end of the day. So we got to be on top of that stuff, and obviously it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and we'll use that to our advantage, but we got to be on those details.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Timmy, your mother said to go to bed.
Let me hear you guys.
Excuse me, coming through.
There's a Chicago Bears podcast.
Follow me for a good time.
Unlike most others, a bunch of guys on the broadcast acting much like brothers. This is Bear Their Souls, uncensored with no control.
We're mentally prepared to play for 5 more weeks, and so that's our intent. How do you do that? You go out and you win the first one. So
this is Bear Their Souls. Bear their souls. Let's go. Let me hear you guys.
Good snap, good hold. The kick on the way by Santos, and it is good. The Bears' losing streak comes to an end on the final play of the regular season. On the fake, Williams looking, throwing, and it's intercepted! Keyshawn Nixon and the Packers will win it! On the fake, Williams looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it all! It is caught! Bears win it! DJ Moore! A-plus throw for Caleb Williams. He knew it when he let it go. That ball's in the air a long time. He's thinking, go get it, DJ. Go track it down, big guy. The throw of Caleb Williams' life. The catch of DJ Moore's life. What a scene.
I am built for these moments, mentality-wise, how I've worked. And so, I've been in a bunch of big games before and a bunch of big rival games. And so, in those moments and in these moments, I think I can provide a spark for the team.
Let's go! This is for the souls. Where something like a bullet hole. This is for the souls.
Welcome everyone to Bare Their Souls. We're about 70 hours away from the start of the Green Bay Packers Chicago Bears playoff game, wild card round playoff games. Say hello to Steven Zimmerman, Johnny Santucci, and of course Danikin, who was with me for the last half hour. I hope you didn't miss that great football talk when we went over Danikin's 5 points. Let me start by talking to Zim. I saw you doing the Cairo Santos dance. There you go. Yeah. That's a good look for you, bro.
I guess, man.
How are you, man?
Well, I've been better. Been a little under the weather this week. Apologies in advance. There is no song this week. You can probably hear I'm still getting over something. I don't know what, but yeah, I feel way better physically and mentally today. So I'm here for the show.
Well, you look normal, which is not a compliment, but you look normal. So hang in there.
Oh my God, I had to do a work
Did
call
you have
yesterday.
whatever was going on in Dallas Hall?
Dude, maybe because it knocked me on my ass for 48 hours straight, and then like today, I've been good to go. Again, I sound a little worse for wear, but if I had to go do a workout today, I feel like I could. So,
what about you, Johnny Santucci? How you feeling, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I'm also an old-fashioned fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. 70 hours.
Beat those, man.
Who's counting, Aldo?
Yeah, I am, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could go to sleep and then wake up just when it's kickoff, you know? Just sleep for 70 hours.
I feel like I got to work 70 hours between now and then.
Oh, that sucks.
The barfly's mood, Aldo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an understatement, man. That is some big piece of shit coming out of that Bears ass.
Leaving as Fitz would say, an RC can on the end zone field there.
Did you hear about this? I didn't write down his name. There's a former football player who is suing his wife. They're divorced, and she went on a podcast and started talking about his penis. And so he is suing her for saying mental distress. Now, the weird thing, the kicker to the story, is that she described his penis as 2 Coca-Cola cans. And I'm like, dude, why are you pissed off? Yeah. Shit, man. I'd settle for 1 can.
Yeah.
Damn, but anyway, that's the world we live in. People suing everybody, including ex-wives, for talking about their dick. Unbelievable. All right, guys, we need to talk football, and there's no better way to start it with Johnny Santucci's Bears State of Affairs. Tooch, are you ready to deliver one of your better ones?
Ready to roll.
All right, well, we always start it with this little dingy.
Johnny Santucci. Johnny Santucci. It's time to hear from Johnny Santucci. Johnny Santucci. Johnny Santucci. The Tooch. The Tooch. Okay, Tooch. Time for Bears State of Affairs.
They love you, John. They love you.
Yeah, fans are out tonight, man. Yeah, Bears State of Affairs. Yeah, 2025 NFL postseason now, Aldo.
Yeah!
Woo-hoo! Yeah, what's happening, Barflies? Yeah, well, the 2025 NFL regular season campaign has come to an end. Can you believe it, Aldo? Yeah, the season's over already. Yeah. Not only that, but there's postseason football in Chicago, guys.
Woo! I don't believe it. Pinch me. Wake me up.
The alarm, Aldo.
All right, enough of that.
Yeah. It's time to check in with the Bears after their final regular season game, a Weekend 18 rematch with Ben Johnson's former employer, Dan Campbell, the Detroit Lions. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't work out too well for old Ben, man. It was a 19-16 loss for the Bears at home in front of a Saturday night crowd at Soldier Field. And as usual, we asked Brock for an AI summary of the game, Aldo.
Oh, no. No. Get it off the screen, please.
Yeah, the Bears would make a valiant effort to try and pull out the victory. Another fourth quarter comeback would fall ultimately short. Yeah, and it had to really sting Ben Johnson, man. His desire to avoid a sweep by the team he used to coach for was visibly evident on his face all game long.
It was.
Yeah.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah, and all game long, Jared Goff and the Lions picked apart the Bears' defense, Zim, attacking the middle of the field where Lions receivers were running wild, opened all game long, especially Lions star receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Hold up. He did most of that in the first half, all right?
Let's not get technical here.
Yeah, St. Brown finished the game with 11 catches for 139 yards. Jared Goff, he finished 27 of 42 for 331 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. Kevin Byard's league-leading 7th interception of the season. Yeah, that's some good news out of that one there. Yeah, for the first 3 quarters, the game never really felt close. The Bears were shut out in those first 3 quarters and didn't come alive until the fourth quarter when they were down 16-0. So I agree with Danikin, man. We can't dick around for 3 quarters on Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bears were down 16-0 in that start of that fourth quarter. But as Bears fans know, the fourth quarter has been magic time for these 2025 Bears. And after this Lions loss, the Bears finished the season 6-2 in fourth quarter comeback attempts. Yeah, down 16-0 at the start of the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams would find rookie wide receiver John A. Walker on a deep post for the Bears' first touchdown.
Nice.
The Bears' 2-point conversion try was good following Kyle Monungai's 2-yard run. The Bears cut the Lions' lead in half 16-8. And with 5 minutes left in the game, Williams would connect with Colston Loveland on a 1-yard touchdown. Cole Kmet's catch would give the Bears another 2-point conversion and tie the game at 16 apiece. And again, the Bears would show the NFL why you can never count them out of a 1-score game in the fourth quarter.
I love it.
Yeah, Colston Loveland, he finished with a career-high 10 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown, showing the NFL why the Bears used the 10th overall pick in the 2025 draft on the Michigan tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both catches on the tying touchdown weren't easy. Loveland grabbed a sinking pass from Williams at the back of the end zone, and Kmet would secure a tough catch after a big hit on the 2-point conversion, a play kept alive by Williams' scrambling ability.
Yeah.
And following Byard's interceptions, the Bears would have a chance to take the lead with 2 minutes left in the game. But a 15-yard reception by Kyle Monungai on 3rd and 20 would bring up a 4th and 5 decision for Ben Johnson, and he elected to punt. The Lions would drive down for the game-winning field goal. Later, cameras would catch Ben Johnson scolding himself, mouthing the words, "should have gone for it."
I saw that.
Yeah, maybe next time he will. After all, the Bears could...
Oh, he will.
Yeah, he will. You know he will. After all, the Bears could not stop the Lions' passing attack, so a 4th down try would have been perfectly acceptable to Bears fans.
Mm-hmm.
The defense looked visibly gassed, and the Bears' defensive backs could not cover the smaller, quicker Lions receivers man-to-man. While the Bears defense had a difficult time with the Lions, with as bad as the defense played, they still only gave up 19 points, which should be enough to win games in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
After the game, and with the Bears getting shut out for the first 3 quarters, Ben Johnson voiced his displeasure, saying, quote, "I was not pleased with the offense today. We can't dig ourselves into a hole like that. I was disappointed with the offense as a whole. I let those guys know that, and we'll be better for it." Fortunately for the Bears, they backed into the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs when the Eagles decided to rest everyone and then lose at home to the Commanders. While Dan Campbell, the Lions dropped the Bears to 2-4 in the NFC North, the Bears still finished with an 11-6 record, a 6-2 home record, a 5-4 road record, and the NFC North title. Yeah, the Lions, on the other hand, they'll watch the playoffs from their sofas this year. At 11-6, Ben Johnson has authored a complete turnaround from Matt Eberflus's 2024 Bears, who finished 5-12. And just this week, Eberflus was fired from his defensive coordinator job with the Cowboys after 1 season.
What?
No
way.
Eberflus would join John Harbaugh, Kevin Stefanski, Pete Carroll, Jonathan Gannon, and Raheem Morris after they were all fired this week.
But what about the bees?
He's got bees to take care of, Sim. That's right. And no, Eberflus is definitely not a candidate for any of those jobs. Yeah. However, strangely enough, former Bears head coach Matt Nagy is rumored to be on some team's shortlist for a second try at a head coach.
Ay, Dios mío.
Right, Heidi. Yeah, and earlier today it occurred to me that there probably exists some alternate universe where Nagy and Eberflus coach together on the same team.
Oh, no. Wouldn't that be something?
That's the wrong picture. Oh, my goodness. How could I do that?
The pressure was on, and you
fumbled.
fumbled.
Man. That's right. Where is it? Oh, I got to get this one together here.
Tooch has a whole new appreciation for Caleb Williams in the 4th quarter right now.
Let's start. I know, right?
Tooch in the porno biz, especially the giant loads of jizz.
All right. Well, there's an alternate universe where Nagy and Eberflus coach together on the same team, Sim.
Imagine.
Yeah.
With Thomas Brown as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, working together in the future.
Jesus, that picture's got me sick, man.
Yeah, but Ben Johnson and the Bears, they're in line for better things. Better things than BU and Hits, that's for sure. With the division title already in the bag and their regular season behind us, the Bears are set for a rare 3rd game in a season against the arch-rival Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur, with whom Ben Johnson is on a last-name basis, Aldo.
That's right. They don't like each other.
Yeah, the Packers, they rested an injury-ravaged roster in their finale, losing to Minnesota, and will walk into Soldier Field Saturday night on a 4-game losing streak. And similarly, the Bears went to the playoffs after dropping their final 2 games. Packers quarterback Jordan Love hasn't played since the Bears knocked him out the last game in Week 16. And the Packers, they haven't won a game since they beat the Bears in Week 14, and the Bears haven't won a game since they beat the Packers in Week 16.
Jeez.
In fact, Saturday's playoff game between the Bears and Packers will mark the first time in NFL history where the 2 teams who are meeting now saw their last victory come against the other team.
Great stat.
Not every day that these 2 franchises face off more than twice in a season, and head coach Ben Johnson, he's well aware of that. Having studied the tape of his opponent not once, but twice already in this playoff matchup, he's sure to bring a certain level of familiarity. And both of these teams have had multiple opportunities to figure each other out, and that poses mutual advantages and disadvantages. For Ben Johnson, he'll likely be digging a little deeper into his playbook, Danikin. After setting his sights on the ultimate goal, Ben Johnson says they're preparing to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're mentally prepared. You're mentally prepared to play for 5 more weeks. That's our intent. You go out and win the first game. And we're going to go all out for this game.
I like it.
It's the biggest game in Caleb Williams' career. At his presser, Caleb appeared ready for the challenge, saying, "My mindset is that it's another game. Go out there and win the game. I'm built for these moments. I've been in a bunch of big games before. I think I can provide a spark for the team." Williams has made major strides from the last year to this year. Not only that, but his confidence, not only in his confidence, but in his stats. With 212 yards passing against the Lions, Caleb broke the Bears' franchise record for passing yards in a season.
That was nice of Eric.
Yep, breaking Eric Kramer's club record. Caleb finished 2025 with 3,942 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 388 rushing yards with 3 rushing scores. And he also caught a touchdown pass.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. And most importantly, this season proved that it's a one-game score at the end of the fourth quarter. And Caleb Williams has the ball in his hands. Well, Bears fans, they'll feel pretty good about their team's chances.
Fucking A.
The Bears and Packers are the most frequent matchup in NFL regular season history, but they've only met twice in the postseason. Caleb Williams has a chance to make his own history in the third ever playoff meeting between these NFC North rivals. And like I said last week, the Bears were destined to play their arch rival, the Packers, in this playoff game. When the division lead was on the line 3 weeks ago, the pressure was sky high. It's even higher now. Hell, if Bears fans had their way, although this would be the plan. Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
Beat Green Bay in the wild card round. Avenge the Saturday Night Football loss against the Niners. Beat Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl and end Aaron Rodgers' career.
In this life. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Things don't always go our way, but we can always dream. And in the snow, the cold, and the wind of Soldier Field, hell, we couldn't ask for a better setting when it comes to this historic rivalry between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, now, the Bears need to slay this dragon. They need to defeat their nemesis. They need to beat the team who's tormented them for the last 3 decades. The loser goes home, guys. The winner will continue on for the ultimate quest, the ultimate prize in sports, and that's Bears State of Affairs.
Fuck Green Bay. Fuck Green Bay. Johnny Santucci. Bears State of Affairs. Johnny Santucci. The talent's all upstairs. Johnny Santucci. You ain't no pussy. Johnny Santucci. In fact, you like coochie coochie. Johnny Santucci. I like the way you talk fast. Johnny Santucci. And you got a really nice Toochie. Johnny Santucci, thank you, Tooch.
Yeah, baby. Never get tired of looking at that ass.
There's some alternate universe where Nagy and Eberflus are coaching together, although.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Wouldn't it be crazy?
Universe.
That would be nuts, man. Hey, let's talk about Bears and Packers. But before we do, I want to make sure, Zim, do you want to say anything about the Lions game before we turn the page and talk Packers? I see that you are holding your finger up. You're muted. And so that must be you're watching porn.
No, I was trying to repost the show link, and I remembered that it plays sound, so I didn't want to interfere with all that. Anything about the Lions game? I mean, for all the bitching about the defense, they only let up 19 points. You need to score more than 2 touchdowns if you want to beat any team, let alone a division rival. I don't care how bad they are, how much they're reeling. You need to score more than 2 touchdowns to win. I wholeheartedly agree with Matt. I almost said Matt Eberflus. Holy shit, have I been drinking? I wholeheartedly agree with Ben Johnson in the sense that like you have to have a better offensive plan to win that game. Apart from that, I mean, no. Like fuck it. I'm on to next week. Like it seems like the Bears were in the middle of that game last week. So
I do want to say this, 19 points, the offense should score easily 20 points or more. So I like the fact that they were stout in the red zone. They really came through in a lot of areas. But the biggest thing that I was upset with was that there weren't adjustments by Dennis Allen to stop these crossing patterns. They were playing so much man-to-man, and it's pretty obvious that they cannot play man-to-man against speedy wide receivers. It was the same thing with Green Bay. Christian Watson just burned the shit out of, what's his name, Gardner Joseph, whatever the hell. And I'm glad Kyler Gordon is back, but we know he's not going to be 100%. So they got to do something, mixing some zone with man-to-man and stuff, and make it a little less obvious, because that was ugly.
You've got to imagine that there's a adjustment coming that they didn't want to tip their hand with too early. Like, that's the only thing I can think of for why that was allowed to happen, because you don't get that frustrated from like just not knowing how to fix it. You get that frustrated from like, damn, I knew how to fix that and I just didn't do it. Like, I knew that I could stop that. I knew I had that in my bag. And like, for whatever reason, like, whether it's strategic or whether it's somebody telling you not to or whatever, it just pisses you off that you're like, I know how to do this, but I can't yet.
Yeah.
And that's like the vibe that I got.
I hate that. I hate that mentality though, man. If we're talking about our coaching staff, and you know what I mean, I love Ben Johnson, I love Dennis Allen, I love everybody and what they're doing, but I don't want my coaching staff to sit here and say on the last game of the season where you already lost one game, you don't want to go into the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak. I don't believe in that. That's not good vibes. It's not good anything. Nothing's good about that. So if you're going into that game and you're saying, oh, we're not going to tip our hand and we're not going to show what we're going to, an adjustment. I mean, come on, man. Like that's nonsense. We're 17, 18 games into the season, or 18 weeks into the season. There's nothing that you're going to do at this point in time that you probably haven't already done in the course of a game or whatever. So you're not tipping anything. I can see if this was the preseason or some crap like that, but at this point in time, man, you pull out all stops, you win all games, and you get as much momentum as you can, and you build that momentum going into the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think both of you guys are making good points, because what Zim said kind of ran through my mind too is, maybe, they didn't load the offensive playbook because they wanted to hold some things. Maybe on defense, they played more vanilla, straight man-to-man. And I agree with you, Danikin, that if that is true, that's like a capital crime in my book, because every game you should be going all out to win games. Now, one of the things that that I'm wondering about, I should say, is Tyreek Stevenson. He did not see a snap on defense, and it's clear that Nashawn Wright and Chauncey Gardner and Jalen Johnson were having difficulty with one-on-one defense and man-to-man defense, and that's one of Tyreek's strengths. So Dennis Allen was asked about that.
He didn't play a snap.
He didn't play a single.
Not one snap.
He's one of 4 players that didn't play a snap. 2 of them are backup offensive linemen, and one of them is Tyson Bagent.
Wow,
that leaves Tyreek Stevenson as the 4th guy who didn't get a single snap.
Sounds like he's in the doghouse.
Something is going on. So this is what Dennis Allen said about Tyreek.
Well, I think, we got Jalen back. That's part of it. And I think Nashawn Wright's played really well. But there'll be a plan, in place for Tyreek. We'll see how the game plays out. But I think all those guys have to be ready to play. Whatever opportunities any of us get, taking advantage of those opportunities. So I know he's preparing really hard this week. Like I said, today's the first day we'll go out and practice, but I think he's in the right mindset, and hopefully he'll go out there and take advantage of whatever opportunities he gets. I think when the season started, none of us thought Nashawn Wright was going to play the way that he played. So I think some of that has to do with, Jalen being out and then Nashawn Wright playing really well. And so you kind of go with a hot hand a little bit.
What do you guys think?
I think he's just feeding us.
I'm sorry,
lines,
I got a major problem with that.
Go ahead.
I got a problem with that. I mean, I have a problem with that because I understand that Sean Wright has played well and things like that, but like you
Not the
said,
last
I
two
think
games
Zim is
though.
right. He's just
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not the last two games, but what I'm saying is like I think he's just feeding us words because I don't think he believes what he just said. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And at the end of the day, maybe they're keeping whatever it is in house, but there's he's obviously in the doghouse. You can't tell me with the way that they were killed on those crossing patterns, the way that everybody was getting slaughtered from CJ to Jalen Johnson. I mean, they could not. I mean, it was just right off the bat. And another thing that I didn't understand, you're playing man to man and you playing bump and run, but you don't touch anybody. You just let them come off the line of scrimmage, like jam them in line, put your hands on them, do something because it slows down the timing of the play. You know what I mean? And they weren't doing that at all. They would just walk up to the line, stand there, and just let them break off the line and run straight across the field, and you're trailing them the whole way. So to me, for a guy to be sitting there and not get one snap, that's to me that's it just doesn't make sense. You can feed us whatever type of word salad you want to, but I'm not going to believe that garbage.
Zim, what do you think?
It's just them covering their ass basically from the sounds of it. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson has every right to play. He made the play that arguably turned this entire season around in that Dallas game, stripping the ball away from was it Jaden Blue, I want to say?
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams.
No. Javonte Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was a running back. I don't know. It was 15 weeks ago. But at any rate, he made the play that arguably like defined this defense early on in the season and set the mood for all these guys. And he's a physical player on a team that prides itself on being a physical force on defense. And it's frustrating because it feels like there's some ulterior motive here that we don't know about. And at the end of the day, if what you're trying to do is win games, then the best players should be on the field. And right now, I'm not sure that Nahshon Wright is your best player, and it sucks. It really does. It's a hard reality to have to face because he's been so good for you for so much of the season, but he's a true boomer bust player. While Tyreek Stevenson, short of one play last year that unfortunately might define his entire career, has been a pretty lockdown. I shouldn't even say lockdown, but an above average player at his position, a guy who is very deserving of a CB2 role on damn near any team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because I don't feel like he's done anything to lose his job. I just feel like he didn't necessarily earn the right to play above Nahshon with the plays that were made earlier in the season. And you have to get Jalen Johnson up to speed. And I almost wonder if Jalen Johnson is the reason that he didn't get to play, because you have to get Johnson up. If Johnson is not 100% up to speed, you are effectively wasting a roster spot. So you have to make sure that he's 100% ready to go for this game, because he's your true lockdown. He's your true number one. This is a guy that we feel in Chicago is an all-pro level talent when he's at the top of his game. And he was slow as shit out there last week. So you hope that game was just him knocking off the rust, and that this is more an indictment of Jalen Johnson than it is of Tyreek Stevenson.
Tooch, let me ask you this.
Zim went a little long. He got the impatient bear.
We need a sound effect with that. That's pretty cool. Tooch, let me ask you this. Do you think that perhaps the reason we are seeing Tyreek Stevenson not play as much as Nahshon Wright, and I think we're all kind of in agreement that Stevenson is probably the better corner, but do you think the reason might be is because Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson value turnovers so much, and Stevenson has only had one this year, while Wright, was leading the league at one point with turning the ball over, getting the ball out, against Green Bay, TJ Willis, and blah, blah, blah. He's just had a lot of turnovers. Do you think that might be the reason that Stevenson is been benched in favor of Wright?
I think you're onto something there for sure. Yeah, I mean, defensively, we've had a ball hawking defense with league high in takeaways, but at the same token, we're getting burned for big plays. We're allowing the second most receptions of 20 plus yards. So the Bears have a not very good defense that's dependent on takeaways, but you can't depend on that against the better teams.
Yep.
That's the worry among Bears fans. You just can't depend on it. I mean, look, I'm with Danikin, man. The last two games allowed 2 300-yard passers, 596 yards rushing, and that was good for 296 yards rushing and good for 56 first downs. 392 yards the last two games rushing, good for 56 first downs.
Wow.
You can't.
That's insane.
Yeah, you can't count on turnovers in the playoffs. You can't allow them to run all over us, man. And the urgency for the D to tighten up is it's big right now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. In Green Bay, one of the major topics about what their concerns about the Bears is the fact that they have been committing turnovers. This is their offensive coordinator, Adam Sinav. I don't know his fucking last name, but this is him talking about the Bears' penchant for turnovers.
Well, yeah, you got to really do a great job. Anytime you catch the ball or run with the ball, just being really focused on making sure you have the ball at the end of the play. They do an excellent job tackling the football, punching at the football, ripping at the football. They got one out on us last time we played them down in the red zone. That was a big play for them. So we got to make sure we do a great job with that. Their DBs are very good they got really good ball skills. They can catch the ball. They don't really lose too many opportunities by dropping the ball and things like that. So they do a nice job just being around the football.
I heard soundbite after soundbite from the Packers press conferences, them talking about we have to be super careful with the ball because the Bears are so good at it. And I agree with you, Tooch. In the playoffs, it's really hard to count on turnovers. But if the Bears, here's my prediction, if the Bears get one more, the turnover differential, if the Bears are +1, they will win this game fairly easy. What do you guys think?
Well, the number one thing they got going for them there is that Toyotathon is over. All right. So Jordan Love comes back to earth. We all know how that goes. No, I mean, I love that. Mark Potash put out a couple fun facts that I want to throw out there to go along with this. Playoff teams that lose regular season finales are 22-5 in home playoff openers.
That's nice.
However, playoff teams that lose their final 4 regular season games are 0-2 if in playoff openers on the road.
Oh, look at that. So the Packers are going to lose. Put all your money on the Bears, too.
Lots of things leading against the Packers. But, yeah, I mean, +1 in the turnover differential seems great. And, again, with Toyotathon being over, again, Jordan Love returns to earth. He wasn't playing that great during Toyotathon this year, honestly.
Yeah,
which is so weird. I wonder if the sales weren't as good or something because he was not having it. And it seemingly it feels like he's going to give you one opportunity every game. And like I've watched this from him week in and week out. He's going to point blank give you one turnover opportunity. It's whether or not you take advantage of it and take the turnover from him when he gives it to you. Because there are some weeks where he does, such as the interception he threw to CJ Gardner-Johnson in their first matchup, where it was, I mean, he couldn't have thrown it to him better if he was the intended receiver on the play.
Right.
And then there's opportunities like that Panthers game where he throws it cross-body across the field to a wide open Panthers player, and the guy drops the ball. I mean, that could have been game defining. And instead that game came down to the fourth quarter. The Packers still lost, but I mean, that game could have gotten ugly real quick if the Panthers had taken advantage of that turnover. So I really think, like I say, it's about taking advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, indeed. Everyone's complimenting that stat that you came up with. I got a good stat too, but I'm not going to deliver it to you. Stacey Dales from NFL Network, she was on the Scores this morning. Listen to what she says about the Packers defense and how they have been adversely affected by the loss of Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons was added to go to the Super Bowl. And this is no fault of Matt LaFleur's or Jeff Hafley's, but the defensive reality without him, and I was on the phone with Quay Walker, who's one of the top tacklers in the NFL yesterday, and the defensive reality, they still think they're a good defense, and they still, believe, even prior to him joining the team, they were a top 10 defense, as you recall last season, and one of the top takeaway defenses in the league. But the numbers are almost shocking, putting dramatics aside. Without Micah, since week 15, they're 0-4. They're allowing almost 30 points per game, so 9 more points per game than with Micah on the field. Their total yards defensively have gone up 105 total yards, so they're almost at giving up 400 total yards of defense. They're giving up almost 70 more rush yards per game without Micah Parsons, right around 171. And their sacks are down 2 per game. He still leads them in every statistical category and metric in terms of affecting the passer. And that is the reality when you lose one of the, in this decade, he'll go down as one of the greatest. I think we can agree.
Makes you believe that if the Bears do not score 30 points, it's going to be a major, major complaint we're all going to have about Ben Johnson and his offense, right? I mean, the Packers are putrid in these last 4 games without Parsons.
The Bears have been much better, though.
Okay, I literally couldn't stop laughing when she said that he was added to this team to make them a Super Bowl contender. You guys want to know something real funny? Packers winning percentage last year without Michael Parsons was a .647, 65%, we'll say. With Micah Parsons this year, they were 9-4-1. That's a 67% winning percentage.
Yeah.
That dude got you 2% more wins. Fuck that. That's not what's taking you to the championship. Like, come on, be fucking real here, Packers fans. Like, oh my God. This is oh my God.
I'll tell you one thing.
It's so stupid.
But they were playing a lot better.
At the end of the day, you cannot negate or take away from what he brings to the table. You have to account for that guy on the football field. I don't care what anybody says, and numbers and all of that stuff. We can throw numbers back and forth and so on and so forth. And for some of those same stats, I mean, Stacy, she gave you some stats. 4 straight losses without him. Numbers up the way that they are. When you're an impactful player, you're going to impact the way other guys play the game as well. It's not just what he brings to the table, right?
Yeah.
It's how does he affect the guy that's next to him? How does he help Quay Walker? How does he help all these other guys on the football field? They play above and beyond because he's on the football field. And at the end of the day, let me finish. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's the key component that's going to make them win the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying in any stretch of the imagination. But when you have a guy who's that impactful on the football field, at the end of the day, it's going to affect your defense when you played with him all year, and then all of a sudden he's taken away from that team, and you go back to being without him. It's like Khalil Mack. When we had Khalil Mack, he didn't win us a Super Bowl, but he was a huge, huge piece that turned around our defense. And that's just
and they won how many playoff
Look
games
at the
because
stats.
of that?
Check it out. Look at the stats on PFF. And I'm gonna send it to Aldo. You can put it up on the screen if you want to. On PFF, there's Michael Parsons. No. There's Myles Garrett, Michael Parsons, and everybody else. And everybody else when it comes to defensive ends.
And Cleveland's winning a lot of games with with Myles Garrett.
No, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, you have to have an entire team, right? Football is the ultimate team sport. At the end of the day, if you take Myles Garrett off of that team, what does it do? It makes them worse than they are. We can't sit here and act like the guy is not. All right, man. It's. I understand there's a hate for Green Bay, and I get it. I 100% get it.
No,
But
I'm talking about Cleveland. Like, you take Myles Garrett off of that team,
honest.
they're still a 3 to 5 win team. Like,
This makes no sense.
defense only goes so far in the modern NFL. And while yes, it's game changing and game
Defense
wrecking,
was still
these guys
wins
just
games,
aren't.
bro.
They're not nearly
Defense
as
will
valuable
still
as they
win
were
the-
20 to 30 years
At
ago.
the end of the day, you got to get stops. You got to get stops to win the game. Period.
Yeah.
Look at the
why
two.
did the Bears lose? We got stopped. That's why we lost the other day.
Look at the 2 number 1 seeds in the playoffs that both have the 2 best defenses in the NFL: the Broncos and the Seahawks. They're both
have the
number 1
most
seeds.
complete
Houston's up there,
teams in
too.
the NFL. I feel that is wildly misleading. They have very good defenses, but they have very good offenses as well. Denver's offense is so good that they can overcome Bo Nix at quarterback. Like, that is something to be said, I feel.
But let me make this clear. Zim, is your point that, like for instance, Tooch just brought up Seattle and Denver. Who's the superstar pass rusher on those teams? It's hard to name, right? So is that your point, Zim?
Who's the superstar defensive player on either of those teams?
Right. So that's your point, right? That for the Packers to think.
Pat Surtain, I would agree with.
Can
you name anybody else on either of those two teams?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So I get where Zim is coming from, is that for the Packers to think that Parsons was going to be the guy that was going to get them over the top is a little bit misleading, because like let's look at Rashawn Gary. As soon as they made that trade, a lot of people said Rashawn Gary is going to take off and he's going to be a sack machine because Parsons is going to get so much attention. Well, Rashawn Gary has not had a sack since before Halloween. So it hasn't happened to that. Now, it takes a while for a defense to gel. So I will give that. But I do understand Sim's point that, relying on one guy to get you to the Super Bowl to make that trade, I don't know if the Packers are there yet, because that defensive backfield for the Packers is their major weakness. And, even if you get pressure on the back, those guys can't guard. So
something I want to bring up to continue on that point is think about the most dominant defenses of the past decade, 2 decades maybe. And who are the real superstars on those teams? I'm talking the 2015 Broncos. I'm talking the 2012 Seahawks. I'm talking the 2018 Bears. I'm talking, your current Broncos. Who are your defenses? The Ravens in those few years that they were really competitive. Who are your superstar players? We're not talking about defensive linemen the same way that we were. Yes, they're important. Yes, it matters that they can cause a pass rush and get to the quarterback. But who are the names that you're remembering off of these teams? We're talking Champ Bailey, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. You want to continue? We got Kyle Fuller. We got Chris Harris. They're all DBs, guys. They're all DBs these days.
What is that?
DBs.
Okay, so here's what I push back on that. Like at the end of the day, if your defensive line is not creating pressure up front and creating opportunities for the freaking secondary to take away stuff, then it is what it is. Every single time is not a sack. A sack is not going to be the end all be all. Pressures count, right? The ability to speed up a quarterback, that counts. All of those things are very important to a game. You don't always see it. It's not always on the stat sheet, but it will show up and it will be evident by way of what you're able to do.
But you have to have good DBs to take advantage of that. And that's what the Packers currently don't have. The Packers currently don't have a good defensive backfield to take advantage of that. And that's why Micah Parsons doesn't matter on that defense. And that's truly how I feel about it. Micah Parsons is a great player. And I really wish he wasn't playing in Green Bay. But I truly think that his injury derails that franchise by at least 3 to 5 years. I truly think that if he really mattered, they wouldn't have lost games.
He doesn't matter. How can we say he doesn't matter, but his injury derails that franchise by 3 to 5 years?
Because they gave up 2 first-round picks to get him. But they gave up 2 first-round picks to get him. Those 2 first-round picks are more valuable than Michael Parsons.
But his injury is what's devaluing, what takes away, right? If he was not injured, you wouldn't be saying that. So his injury is what it is. It's not the so the trade derails them.
I think the trade derails them.
Let's say the trade derails them, but not the player. I think that's insanity talking right there, bro. I'm not, you know what I mean? No disrespect, but I don't agree with that at all.
You're good, man. Look, this is brotherly heat, man. We're all good at the end of the day. Like, I'm never going to be mad at you about anything we say on this show unless you come at me or my wife. So my kids, like, let's be real.
The kids are okay.
You can go after my kids as long as they deserve it, all right? But me and my wife, all right?
It's a village, you know.
But look, the Seahawks are getting pass rush from, their defensive line. There's a few guys with
you can manufacture pass rush from elsewhere as well. Look at the 2 players in the NFL. There were 2 players in the NFL this year. But that's what the Bears are
struggling to do, though.
There were 2 players in the NFL this year that were traded for multiple first-round picks. They were both defensive players, proving that the league still feels that defense wins championships. But to my way of thinking, one of them was a defensive lineman. The other was a cornerback, Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them have derailed franchises with both injury and multiple first-round picks given up for them. But I don't know, man. I just this Micah Parsons trade just screams shades of the Khalil Mack trade to me. You know, the way that he came off so hot, he got kind of hurt, and then he got, I mean, unlike Khalil Mack, he gets really hurt. So instead of just not being on the stat sheet next year, he's going to be completely not on the roster next year. But if he mattered, if he truly mattered, they would not have lost to such powerhouses as the Browns, the Panthers, I guess they lost to the Eagles, but still, that was a 3-point loss. 3 points, that should have been enough. You know, they tied the Cowboys. Like, this wasn't a good team to begin with. And then you went this feels so much like the 2018 Bears to me. This feels like a last-ditch effort to claim your playoff window rather than a true playoff push, rather than a true Super Bowl push. I really, really think that this might screw the Packers for years to come. And this Saturday might be their playoff window closing. I think that the Bears have a chance to slam this shit shut on the Packers. And that's what makes me so nervous about it.
Well, you gotta look at it though. I think somebody mentioned it. Did somebody mention it last week? Where, you know, if the Packers, if there wasn't a 7th position or a 7th playoff spot, Matt LaFleur may never have made the playoffs yet.
I brought that up last week.
Didn't you mention that last week? Yeah. Okay, so to me, their window has never really been open, right? It's always been it's like cracked a little bit maybe, and it's, you know, people feed into it or whatever. But, you know, it may be a situation where this derails it. I don't necessarily want to go after a defensive end or anything like that. I pushed back on that earlier this season. Matter of fact, on this show.
Well, there's a question in the chat right now.
I know that dude is. Yeah. Once again, I don't want to do it. I think Crosby is a little bit long in the tooth, in my opinion. But hey.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. There's no doubt. All right, so another big story in Green Bay is that LaFleur could lose his job if they are eliminated in this game on Saturday, because I think this will be their, third straight first-round elimination. And so he was brought in to fix this offense, and the offense is still having trouble. And he is, like it or not, he's responsible for the entire team, and they complain that he kept Joe Barry on as defensive coordinator for too long before bringing in their present defensive coordinator, who's been pretty good. And and that the special teams has for years been a special teams unit that is underachieving, giving up onside kicks to the Bears and stuff. So LaFleur's neck could be in the line. And I see a lot of Bears fans saying that would be the stupidest thing ever if the Packers fired him because he's such an offensive genius. Well, results matter. So the guy could be real smart and stuff, but if he's not motivating and getting wins and getting playoff wins, then goodbye. Look at John Harbaugh. I mean, no better proof than that.
An interesting twist in this plot, and then I'll let you guys go off on it because I've said plenty so far. From Marcus Mosher on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, Matt LaFleur is the oldest coach in the NFC playoff picture right now.
Is that right? Holy
shit. He's 46 years old and the oldest coach in the NFC playoff picture.
LaFleur is 46?
Yeah.
He looks like
he looks great for 46. I hope I look that good at 46.
If Matt LaFleur does get fired, he could join Eberflus and Nagy on the mat. The three mats. The three mats, Aldo.
3 mats. 3 doormats.
The Broncos have their own Micah Parsons, Nick Benito. That guy's freaking awesome. 14 sacks.
Oh, man, I had a nice rookie card collection.
FYI, that dude is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
What was that, Sim?
I had a real nice rookie card collection of that guy. And after his rookie year, I didn't think he was going to pan out, and I sold the whole thing. Oh, man. I kick myself every day for that one.
Let me kick you, too.
He's a great player, man.
Lutz, a reporter with the $2 donation. Don't fire LaFleur. I need him for material. Lutz writes a column over at patch.com. Make sure you look for it on Friday or Saturday. Lutz is doing a special column. He's going to let me take a peek at it before it's published, and so I can't wait to read it. It turns out some really good stuff. Yeah, Lutz, the reporter, thank you very much, brother.
So I challenge you guys with this. Who has more to contribute to the Packers' success or their potential downfall? Micah Parsons or Matt LaFleur?
Success or down? Oh, wow.
It's hard to say, really.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would say if I have to pick one person under those rules, because I would say it's a combination of things, but if I had to pick one, I would say the absence of Parsons.
Yeah, affects the success.
Yes.
And the contributing to the downfall would be the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Contributing the success, the pass rusher, contributing the downfall, coach. But losing that pass rusher, Micah Parsons, I mean, it like I said on Bears State of Affairs, when Parsons went down, that locker room was you could hear the locker room deflating around the world.
Really.
There he is. That's an interesting question too. This is definitely
a great question.
But I agree. I agree with you guys on that. There's, their success would be limited without him, but their downfall would be because of Matt LaFleur.
There you go.
Yeah, what was it? Stacey Dales had said that the Packers are giving up 400 yards of offense. The Bears are giving up 500 yards of offense the last 2 weeks. So I mean,
how dare you come at me with stats and figures and facts?
I mean, we're not exactly setting the world on fire on defense. I mean, we don't have the athletes in the defensive backfield to play man-to-man. I mean, he's going to have to play zone against the Packers. I mean, there's no one that can really cover Christian Watts. That's the guy that scares me a little bit, is that the size and speed of Watson.
Jaden Reed does too. I hate him.
Yeah, he's like their Luther Burden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at today's Packer press conference, they said that he's looking better and better in practice and is getting pretty close to his old self. So Packers have had is he?
He's from Naperville, yeah.
I know that. They've had a lot of injuries, but at today's press conference, they were kind of saying that guys that have been injured are starting to look like they're getting back to normal. So we'll see if that's just smoke and mirrors. Hey, let's welcome in Fitz. He is center screen. Fitz, how are you, my man?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, man. We got into a debate regarding Micah Parsons. How much do you think Micah Parsons' absence has hurt the Green Bay Packers these last 4 games where they're 0-4?
Well, I look at it from a Bears perspective. It hasn't hurt that much, him being gone. I mean, well, because they played the Bears very tight both times.
Mm-hmm.
Differently, maybe. You've got a different setup. But I think Parsons' impact is you have to take it as a whole. And Zip was talking about the trade value.
Yeah, there's a big hole in their defense with that.
Right.
That's right.
But his impact is going to be felt next April at the draft, where they don't have any first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
And in their draft capital and in their cap space, you've got 2 guys on that team that are making over $100 million. I think it's the sum of the whole parts of Micah Parsons that is affecting them. But I don't even want to put it into the air if they happen to continue playing in the playoffs after Saturday. It could. I don't even want to think about that right now. So
let's not think about it.
Yeah.
Let's not bring it up ever again.
Yeah.
I got a good feeling about Saturday's game because I think that the Bears, first of all, Kevin Byard told Stacey Dales that last Packer game at Soldier Field, that he and the rest of the team, when they were in the tunnel, they could feel a certain electricity, a certain vibe from the home fans. And he said, that was kind of a moment of realization how much these fans hate the Green Bay Packers and how important this is. I think they're going to continue that. And clearly, that last game at Soldier Field could have gone the other way if it wasn't for the onside kick and blah, blah, blah. Clearly, but I just have a really strong gut feel that they're going to come out in that first quarter. They're going to march downfield, and the defense is going to get an early turnover so that the Bears can get up on a 2-score lead. And then after that, you're going to see a revitalized pass rush. They're going to pin their ears back and go after Reed because they'll probably give up on the run game and be able to get after Jordan Love. It could end up being a high score, but with the Bears in control throughout, trading touchdowns. That's my feeling for this game. And the reason I'm sharing that is because I got to leave, guys. So I want to leave you with that. And can I play one quick video for you guys? And it'll serve as the segue for Tooch take the lead here in the conversation. This is the Bears hype video that they released for this Sunday's game. I will see you guys all here next week. We'll talk about this Bears victory over the Packers. Thank you all for carrying on without me. Here it comes.
Good is turning 5 into 11.
I guess we ain't the same old Bears, huh?
Good is the nail biters, the final drives, the triumphs to prepare us for this stage. When one man goes down and another rises up.
Walker, touchdown! What? Are you kidding me?
Better is turning the D linemen into pancakes, taking what's ours, a run game that would make Walter proud.
Swift gets up to full speed. Manungai, head down. They can't stop him.
Better is the ice in your veins when it's all on the line.
The Iceman coming. The Iceman taken.
Better is getting to the tournament, turning belief into reality. Better is the kings of the North. Best is the greatest fans in the world.
The fans celebrate everybody on their feet. What a strike.
Best is what the #1 city in the world deserves. We aren't satisfied with good. Better isn't enough. The best is yet to come. And that starts right now.
That was awesome.
Dope.
All right.
Real nice.
Love it. Fitz doesn't. They didn't load your review.
Not on there. Okay.
The foods. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on.
Can I send it to you or?
Live production, everyone.
I had to go get some cookies.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. I don't know how you'd send it to me though. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. I always just
is it a large file?
It's a minute and a half. I mean, it's like I don't know.
You just text him the video?
Yeah, I just text him.
Okay. I like J2K's idea. Live stream you taking an Uber and just recreate it live in person.
So the one I had there was Fatso's Last Stand, and I know they're open late, so I could probably.
Yeah. Where's that place?
Fatso's. There's one in just north of the United Center on Ogden, I believe. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the Twisted Spoke used to be over there. I think. You remember that place?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Twisted Spoke.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be what do you call it? Billy Goat over there too.
There's a Billy Goat on Madison, just down from the United Center.
Yeah.
When my daughter lived over there, I frequented that a lot. So.
I've got family in that general region, so I'm curious. Yeah.
Okay. Their burgers, man. The Kaiser roll, I'm not a fan of. There, it's like chewy. It's like,
oh no, you know. I hear what I see what you I hear what you're saying, and it can be like that, but
yeah.
For the most part, I've had a good experience there. I love a good double cheeseburger from Billy Goat's.
Yeah.
You pile on all the pickles you want or whatever you put the toppings on. It's great after a Hawks game or a Bulls game over there to go over there, get a late night
Like
burger.
what's the best vehicle for a burger? Do you think a sesame seed bun?
Yeah, I go with a good old sesame seed.
Yeah.
I'm not big for the pretzel buns. I know, but I'm not a big fan.
They're
of
kind of
pretzel-
heavy though. The
Yeah, a
pretzel
little bit.
bun, you know.
Yeah, but I like sesame seed buns. Maybe lighter the better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I want to get that. You know, you're there for the meat. You know, you're there for the burger. So
Honestly, like the more I've eaten burgers, and I work at a burger and beer place, so it's pretty frequently these days, the more I appreciate like Texas toast as a bun for a burger. Super underrated, but you butter and toast both sides, put a burger between it, like a good old patty melt. So underrated, guys. So underrated.
I love Texas toast for grilled cheese sandwiches. You know,
yeah.
it's like, you know.
Yeah.
The Texas toast at Raising Cane's is really good.
Yes, it is.
Zaxby's has some good ones.
Yeah.
You guys know Zaxby's at all?
I haven't been. I know of it.
Yeah, Zaxby's. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
Zaxby's
Georgia?
is out here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We had those in
So
Arkansas.
it's like Popeyes?
No, it's like Raising Cane's.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're very
Next
similar.
time I head that direction, I'll try it. I'm sure they probably have. If it's, they probably have some in Southern Missouri, right?
Southern Missouri? I think so. Yeah, because they have them in Southern Indiana. I mean, Blytheville, where I was at, was right on the Missouri border, so it should have some.
Cliff says that
Zaxby's
Five
is
Guys
good. They got
orders
good salads too,
menu.
man.
Yeah. What's that?
You ever get
Cliff
a
says
salad?
Sorry, guys. We're all trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah, brioche is really good for burger.
Brioche is great. That was my
Yeah.
next choice, honestly.
Yeah.
If you got to go standard bun, brioche, that egg wash on it makes it so good. And Hawaiian roll, very underrated, especially if you're having something with like a barbecue sort of twang to it. You know, that extra sweetness on it. You know, a pulled pork sandwich on a Hawaiian
Yeah,
roll.
that's
Oh,
perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
The sweetness from it is perfect.
There
No,
is a burger joint down from my work, not too far, called Lachelle's, and it's a really small place. You either sit at the counter, they have a few tables. They do like smash burgers, but they have like fresh made sesame seed buns, man. So good.
Okay.
Yeah, homemade sesame seed buns and smash burgers.
Toasted with mayonnaise instead of butter. When you
Yep.
toast it with mayonnaise instead of butter, that kind of brings it out. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So
I mean,
Bears.
honestly, anything's good as long as it's fresh. You know, my place gets buns ordered in fresh every morning from a bakery here in town, and it makes a world of difference, guys. It really does.
So give us a little Fatso's last stand talk.
Fats? Oh, it's they have one like it said on Ogden by
Like
the
what's
UC. And they
good
have
there?
One, well,
Like
their
they're known
Fatso
for
double
burgers?
Fatso burger is what I recommend. They have one in Lincoln Park, right off the L, and it's just the video showed it. The cheese just dripping down the sides of it, and it just melts in your mouth. It's greasy, and they also have hot dogs and great shakes, and it's just one of those. I would say Fatso's would definitely be in my top 5, probably top 3. It's that good.
Did you have fries with it, or what was your side?
I had fries with it. And their fries are very good. They're not just regular. You know, they're definitely worth it. But yeah, they've got your Chicago dogs. My wife had a Chicago dog, and she liked it. Not as much as she likes Portillo's. That's always her favorite hot dog is Portillo's. But
I don't understand that. A Chicago dog's a Chicago dog as long as it's got the right ingredients and a Vienna dog on it. Like, what's the difference?
Portillo's is made by Vienna beef, but they do have their own recipe.
Okay.
Yeah. But they are made at the Vienna beef factory.
Portillo's burgers.
I should have that video next week. My Vienna beef saga. So
awesome. Hey, we've got plenty to talk about there.
Yes, Zim. I need to hear that story too. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah, next week, a little teaser for next week. Listen in. Fitz will obviously have his great food stories, and I've got a couple to throw out there too. So,
all right.
There's more to Vienna beef than just hot dogs.
That's true. That's
Have
very
you
true.
guys had the Portillo's burger?
Yes.
No.
They're very good. They're good
Anybody
burgers.
know? Yeah, very good burger.
The only thing I've had at
That's a
Portillo's was a
charbroiled-
beef. I did not care for their Italian beef, so I never went back. And this was when I was like 10. Like,
Yeah, I don't get the Italian beef. Usually the Polish sausage is my go-to at Portillo's.
Oh yeah, the char Polish dog. You know, the
Yeah.
char Polish. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. The beef and cheddar croissant is really good too. It's got Italian beef and melted cheese and on like a dipped croissant. It's really good. Yeah, and then the Italian sausage and beef combo.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fitz-
yeah, combos are always.
The combos are the king. That's my favorite, especially if you've got a good Italian sausage on it, like a good spicy Italian sausage. Because so many of them to me are under flavored. Like the flavor profile is right, but it's too subdued. It needs to stand out. It needs to tango with your tongue. You know, like you gotta know it's there.
Yes, dude. That's why Bona Beef has a good Italian sausage. I prefer their combo definitely over than just their beef because they're I do like their Italian sausage over at Bona.
Fitz, did Fatso's have a pizza puff for you?
No, they did not.
What?
What's the point?
Is that?
But they have
that's
Green
like 10
River.
points
They have
up?
Green River soda.
They have Green River on tap or in bottle?
That's on tap.
Wow.
Yes.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
RC has 0 sugar now.
Yes, they have a 0 sugar.
I haven't tried it. I'll have to try that.
Oh, speaking of RC, did you guys see my wife brought this here? My gift that I got.
I saw that. I was so jealous.
I'm jealous.
I want it to put right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Bears RC.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Thank
man.
you to Kenny Perez. We met at a Beef Shack in Wooddale, and that Beef Shack has excellent Italian beef as well. Yep, and I guess he enters a lot of contests and won 2 of these. I guess.
Wow.
So
Nice.
he said,
what kind of contest?
he just sent. This was I think a Chicago Bears contest.
Okay.
But he enters. He was telling me about all these things he's won in contests, trips to the Pro Bowls and trips to White Sox games in Oakland. You know,
You enter these contests, man. You win stuff. I've had my fair share with this Saints helmet behind me. That's a Drew Brees autographed Saints helmet. That's the only reason I keep it because Drew Brees was the man. Won in a contest. You know, you don't know. You can't win if you don't enter, man.
I know. Fitz, you posted besides the RC soda. Diet chocolate fudge Canfields. That was my dad's favorite soda, man. I was like, when back then I was like, it's disgusting, but now it's like, it wasn't that bad, you know.
why was it only in diet? Why couldn't they have like a regular
chocolate fudge soda?
You
Yeah.
know?
Well,
My dad loved it. That was like all he drank for soda. It was like it was his favorite thing.
We had a couple of restaurants by me growing up that sold phosphates, and they had a chocolate phosphate, which was delicious.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I'll go to Sonic and get my Coke with chocolate syrup in it sometimes. You know, try to bring back a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
just there's a million ways to the road of diabetes, I guess. But
Yep. You know, there's a local candy store here in town. You know, my tiny little town that actually carries Green River. And you saying that, Fitz, I've been wanting to go there for a few weeks, and now I'm just like, man, now I want to go get a Green River.
Time to go.
yeah, I was 2 years ago. It was my daughter took me out for my birthday. We went to a Bulls game, and then we went to a jazz club in Bucktown. And then on the way back, she's like, "Well, let's get Fatso's." It's like 2 a.m. And so she orders it when we're in the Uber, and she goes, "You got to have the Green River." I'm like, "Well, yeah, we have to have the Green River." So we, 2 a.m. You got a double cheeseburger and a Green River. It's makes for a great night's sleep, right?
Well, so as I've mentioned, my mom has her restaurant, and years ago she decided she wanted to carry Green River because like it's a Chicago staple, like you got to have it. You know, and what's even funnier about this is she didn't start carrying RC until about 2 or 3 years ago. So she carried Green River long before RC was a thing, at least out there. But we didn't have it. We carried Coke products, and for those who don't know, Coke, Pepsi, and individual retailers have different dispensers for their streams, like their taps. So we had to make the Green River by hand when we first started carrying it. So we got the syrup and we had to scoop it into seltzer water and then mix it by hand, like in the glass.
Jeez,
to
you were
serve
like a
to
soda
people.
jerk.
Exactly. We're like a full-blown soda jerk just for Green River. And then finally we got like the guys to come out. Like we sold enough of it that it was like, okay, we can justify this. And we brought it out and we got it hooked up to the soda machine and everything. But man, I just remember, like, you know, 3 scoops of Green River for a medium and 4 for a large, and shake it. And oh man, it just brought back such vivid memories. And every once in a while you make one that was
Green River.
I've had it before. Yeah, it's been so long since I've ever had any Green River though. It's been a long time for me.
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
How far a drive are you from here, Zim?
Me, I'm about an 8-hour drive.
8
about
hours?
7.5 to 8 hours. Yeah.
Me is I'm like 5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah. I'm basically in Omaha.
I was just saying you're like right on Nebraska. Okay, wow.
Yeah, I'm on the Nebraska-Iowa
You're like
border.
2 hours from me, Zim.
Correct. Yeah.
So is that what's the town on the
Council Bluffs?
Council Bluffs. Is that where
ish?
You're the suburbs?
I'm in Cowtown outside of there. So
Okay.
yeah. I put it this way. I don't say my exact town because it's so small that if I named it, you could probably drive around and find me. So,
Council Bluff Heights. Is that what
yeah, there you go.
I gotcha. I spent a year in Seward, Nebraska.
Okay.
And
that's another small town. That's another small town where you don't tell people you live in Seward because they can drive around the town and
That's
find
where
you.
I had
you have a
Runza
1
there
in
for the first
5,000
time.
chance of finding you.
Exactly.
That's where I had my first Runza in Seward.
In Seward.
Seward, yeah. Not a Runza fan, but
Yeah, I know. I'm not me either. I think I would have to have one of the other. I got the traditional with that fermented cabbage.
yeah, I didn't know that was in it the first time I had it.
Yeah, you're like, what?
What is this? No.
I'll do the variations. Like they've got like a Southwestern one with like ranch and bacon and that kind of stuff in it.
Yeah,
like that's not bad. Or they've got a spicy one with like jalapenos and buffalo sauce, and I can tolerate that. But like a classic Runza, hell no.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 30 years ago. But.
Recently, I was watching for the first time. This guy had like where he tastes every frozen pizza or every fast food burger.
Yeah,
he did like burgers blindfolded, like the best ones and stuff. Ranked them and stuff. Like I said, Burger King is like unmistakable. He was picking them out too, like Culver's and Five Guys he could recognize them blindfolded and stuff. But the frozen pizza was wild to watch him taste all these different pizzas and stuff and see how they scored them and stuff. One of them, the best one, was from Sally's Pizza in New Haven, Connecticut. That was, I don't know how much it was, like $40 or $60.
A frozen pizza?
Or a frozen pizza. And it was like, this is better than some real pizzas,
I heard that Connecticut is an underrated place for pizza.
New Haven, pizza capital of the United States.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like as a former pop punk kid, I need to visit there.
Yeah, me too.
I would be doing my history a disservice.
If you go to Chicago, like I said, Peace has New Haven style. It's just pretty close.
Okay.
Peace is very good.
Peace Pizza is really good in Wicker Park. All right, let's get back to some Bears because Saturday is the Packers band. I want to ask you guys how if the Bears, God forbid, lose this game, how are you guys going to feel? Let's go around Fitz to Zim.
I'm trying to convince myself that I'll obviously be disappointed, but we're ahead of schedule, and it's been a great season, and it's been a fun season. It's been a fast season too. Yeah. I think all the winning, especially in December, when you're winning at the end, and you're not just sort of playing it out. I mean, the season just picks up and goes so much faster. I can't believe it's January and we're in the playoffs already. But I'll be extremely disappointed if they don't win on Saturday. But I'm just trying to look at it as a whole again. That it's been a great year, and there's a lot. I hope there's more of these years ahead of us.
Danikin?
Man, if the Bears season comes to a close on Saturday night, of course I'll be a little upset by that. You know,
Couple old
I'm a
fashions
firm
for both
believer
of
in.
us.
Yeah, for sure,
All right, for
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Win, lose or draw. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. But you know, I'll definitely be a little bit saddened by that because I understand how football works sometimes, and even though they're ahead of schedule, I mean, Fitz is absolutely right. They're ahead of schedule, and I've been saying that too. They're ahead of schedule. We're playing with house money, but at the end of the day, when you get to the playoffs, so much can just go the
That's
right
a great
way,
point.
and any given Sunday is a literal thing in the NFL, right? Like any team can rise up and beat somebody else, so on and so forth. So when you're in the playoffs and you have the opportunity, man, it's like let's see what we can do with it. You know what I mean? So it's you know what I mean. That's my mentality, of course. So yeah, I'll be a little bit hurt, of course, by it because I always want to see the Bears' success and see them, you know, make strides. And it'd be great to see them run the table and kind of get to a Super Bowl or something like that. It's far, it's a long shot, of course, but stranger things have happened, right?
Zim?
You know, I have a lot of regulars at work who come in and know that I'm a Bears fan, and they've asked me about this game. And some of them have said it's well justified, my reaction, and others have said other things. But the one that stuck with me is somebody I talked to on my way out the door actually today. But it stuck in my head because I said, I got to tell this on the podcast tonight. He said, how do you feel about the game? And I said, man, I don't know how to feel about this thing. I feel like they could win. I feel like they could lose. I feel like they're ahead of schedule, but I feel like they have to win this game. And he says, man, it sounds like you're suffering from, and here's your vocabulary word for the day, everyone. Sounds like you're suffering from anhedonia.
I don't know that one.
The inability to feel happiness. For reference, this man is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh, God.
He said, look, Steven, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Enjoy it. These don't come often. Have a fun ride. Watch the game. Remember that you're in the playoffs right now. So many teams, more than half the league, are not in your shoes right now. So many fans would kill to be in your position. This time last year, you would kill to be in this position. Mm-hmm. You're the number 2 seed. Don't be anhedonic. Enjoy the game. And I said, damn. If I could remember your name, Mr. Regular, that I see 3 times a week. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I mean,
it's hard to enjoy it though, man.
It's so true. Yeah. And when I really thought about it, it was like, look, I won't be surprised if they win this game, and I won't be surprised if they lose this game. And what I need to come away from this game feeling like is if they win, be ecstatic, be happy, live to fight another week, and look forward to that game, whether it be the Rams or the Niners. I think those are the only 2 potential options. And if they lose, remember, we're 2 wins and 1 playoff appearance ahead of schedule from where everybody thought we would be at our absolute cap this year, right? Maybe 1 win and 1 playoff appearance at like the most optimistic people. I feel like anybody who I feel like had the Bears at more than 10 wins this season was just being a homer. Myself included.
Excuse me. I was 10-7, and I thought I was being a homer.
Everybody's 10-7 when the schedule comes out. Everybody's 10-7. Like, that's what we all do as fans. We all say, yeah, we split the whole division and we win 5 games here or there and maybe take 1 more there. 10-7. There we go. So I don't know. And the books truly have this like as a pick'em. Like it's really up in the air. You know, pick'ems don't exist anymore because of what this country has done to sports gambling, but it's a pick'em. So don't get invested. Don't get carried away. Go root for the team that you've spent your whole life rooting for. And if they lose, get pissed off and come back with a vengeance next year. Thank you. Don't cry because it's over. Be happy because it happened. it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
Absolutely.
Winning the Super Bowl
You
is
just want to
awesome,
see,
but it just
at the end of
lowers
the day, I wanna
expectations
see-
for next year.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I want to see them making strides. Like at the beginning of this season, the biggest thing that I wanted to see was meaningful games being played in December. That was the biggest thing I wanted to see. I didn't care what the record was going to be. I just wanted to see them come in competitive games and playing for a reason to be playing instead of us just watching football because we like the Bears, right? We're watching because we're actually have a chance to make a playoff, whatever the case may be. And they've exceeded those expectations for me, for most people. And at the end of the day, I want them to continue succeeding because at the end of the day, man, we don't know when those windows close. Like we were talking about the Lions, we were talking about Green Bay, we talked about all these other teams. Those windows, they close like that. The Lions were 15-2, and then they don't make the playoffs this year. And the Bears went from bottom basically.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it happens in the blink of an eye. So it's like we need to take full advantage of it while we're here.
Just look at 2018 for the Bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was like the height of it all.
Yep.
I'm kind of glad that this is on a Saturday because I'm going to need Sunday to recover, whether it's a win or a loss, to get back into Monday, because, Danikin, you've mentioned how you hate like the 12 o'clock Sunday game because if they lose, that ruins your whole day. But this is further back enough that I'll have a whole day to recover because it's going to be close. It's going to come down to it. If they win, I'm going to need just the next day to relax and just bask in the glow of a victory. Or if they lose, I'm going to have to bask in my sorrows before I, start the week on Monday. So I'm kind of glad it's a Saturday night game.
So, it's funny, man, because I'm a Bears fan, and this is thinking way far out. But obviously, I'm a Bears fan. I work with a Bills fan. I work with a Broncos fan. And I work with a Seahawks fan. And we now have contingency plans for the Super Bowl in the event that any of those four teams make the Super Bowl so that whoever's team is represented can take the weekend off as well as the following 2 days.
Nice. That's
because
that's
just like this week's game where we're already in the mindset of like, we're going to need a whole ass day to recover from this one way or the other. Yep. We know that whoever gets there is going to need a few days to like collect themselves and get back and get ready to work because that's the mind frame that we're all in right now, man. Like we're so ready and I'm so excited. I have to remind myself, like, am I excited because the Bears are in the playoffs or am I excited because something I care about continues for another week? And like, that's what it is. It's like, it's this thing that I only get to enjoy for a third of the year or less is now getting extended just a little bit longer. And I want that window to keep opening and I might not be a part of it, but it's something that I really enjoy. And it's something that sets off those dopamine receptors in my brain. And I just want it to continue for as long as possible because I'm a fucking addict. But,
I don't want the season to end.
What we going? Okay, so what did we go on last year, right? Remember last year, what was it, a 10-game losing streak?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what it was?
Horrible. Yeah.
Like a 10.
Yep.
So you think about where we were, last year when you're on this roller coaster and you're going on a 10. Yeah, this freak, this idiot, 10-game losing streak, right? This 10-game losing streak. The season was over for us, like Zim just said. Third of the year. I mean, it was over. It was over way earlier than the third of the year.
It was over in November.
We were done.
It was over in October.
Might have been October. Yeah.
And for the people who do podcasts, we're like running out of like what more could we talk about at that point?
By
right?
December, you've already run your 4th mock
losing
draft, and you're just like, what the hell?
Somebody said that. I seen that on Twitter too today. Like, this is normally the part of the season where we're all looking at mock drafts and thinking about new coaches and all these other different things.
Here's the thing,
and now we're in the playoffs.
Here's the proof of that, man. It's January 8th, 7th, depending on where you are in the U.S. No, it's still the 7th. It's January 7th. I have no idea who the number 1 pick in the draft is going to be. As a Bears fan, that's unheard of,
Haven't
man.
paid attention.
Or where the Bears are going to draft. We don't even know where the Bears are going to draft, do we?
That's it, man. This is crazy.
Nope, not yet.
It's
Not
such
yet.
an unreal feeling that like we just need to bask in it. And that's my overall point to segue all the way back to what we were originally talking about, is just like at this point now, like I am just so glad that these things matter finally, and that we're at this place. And again, we're like a year ahead of time. Like, I'm just glad to be on this ride, to be on it with fellow Bears fans, to have this platform, which I get to share with you 3 guys and Aldo and everybody in the chat room, that we get to do this week in and week out, and for it to matter to some people and for it to not matter to other people, and they just want to come here and troll us. That's fun too. Honestly, like that's fun. That's the fun of all of this, man. I love it. Yeah. I love it. And I can't get enough of it. And I want it to continue for another 5 weeks.
That was my thought. Sunday after they lost, I was like, hey, but the season's still going, and I love it. It's like I was a little disappointed, but I'm like, wait, we got to play a home playoff game next week. You know?
Well, that's it. So, what was your first thought? Was your first thought like, damn, we lost to the Lions, or like, damn, how are we going to fix this for Green Bay?
Mine was, damn, we lost to the Lions. And then it's like, oh, wait, we're going to the playoffs, though. We got a whole playoff game. You know,
my immediate thought, they lost that game, and I'm like, all right, how are we going to fix this, guys? We got another week still.
Yeah, I didn't get there yet. I was still happy that they're in the playoffs.
Right.
My first thought was, damn, we cost ourselves the number 2 seed. But
no, yeah.
Then the Eagles.
I immediately turned to the other game.
The Eagles lost the game for they could have they could be hosting the Packers at home.
I'm not gonna lie.
Instead, they get the 49ers.
I'm not in love with any of these matchups.
To sit their starters was crazy.
Yeah, it was dumb. I mean,
I don't think it was
they
dumb.
Sat their starters.
No,
I don't know.
They have gone to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and they have sat their starters in Week 18 both of those years. From Nick Sirianni's standpoint, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but they had a first.
But did they? But did they?
They did.
Yeah,
I understand that there's a difference from year to year. But again, they've gone to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. They've rested starters 2 years in a row.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you do it a third year?
If I was the Eagles, I would rather play the Packers than the 49ers.
Or the
You know,
honestly, these NFC playoffs, anybody could win. Straight up. Well, no,
it matters.
The Packers can't win. I don't think
nobody I want to see. You know, so let's take the Packers then.
The only team the Packers could beat in these playoffs is the Bears, because they
genuinely
get up for the Bears.
Like
no.
The other teams.
Carolina.
Carolina already beat the Packers, though. Carolina already beat the Packers.
Carolina already beat them.
There's 4 teams that I think are like absolutely like no's on the Super Bowl, and 3 of them are in the NFC. You know, it's the Packers. Only 3 teams. Sorry, it's the Packers, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. Those are the Jesus Christ, the Panthers, the Packers, and the Steelers. Those are the 3 teams that I'm like, no shot in hell, no way, none of those 3 teams make it. Anybody else, I'm like, you could at least play in the Super Bowl. You might not win it, but you could get there.
Yeah,
the Panthers. Probably you could make an argument that they shouldn't even be in the playoffs. You know,
the
Buccaneers are a better team, but.
I'm going to age myself.
If the Buccaneers were the better team, they'd be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah. I'm going to age myself here. I always go, if the 1994 San Diego Chargers with, Stan Humphries got to a Super Bowl, then fill in the blank can get to the Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson.
That's so good.
I mean,
Trent Dilfer.
I mean,
if Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl, then I can win a Super Bowl.
Right. That was the thing back in the 90s. Like, if Stan Humphries can lead a team to the Super Bowl, then Eric Kramer can. You know, that was just kind of the thought.
They got there and got destroyed in the Super Bowl.
They did.
That was a very one-sided game. That was a pretty bad one. That was almost as bad as Broncos Falcons.
You mean Seahawks?
No, the one where
Broncos Seahawks with Peyton Manning's first trip.
No, Elway's first trip.
Oh,
not Elway's first trip. Elway's first win. The one where Minnesota clearly should have won that game. Maybe it was his second one.
The second, that was his retirement game against the Falcons. Where it
should have been Minnesota in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It should have been Minnesota in that Super Bowl,
Right.
and
Right,
the
the
Falcons
beat
just
them.
got dog walked.
Yeah.
Like the Bears.
I was
fans
5. All right, cut me a break.
Bears fans are nervous about this game. Let's not kid ourselves, because the bragging rights between friends and family who are Packers fans, and then their social media Packers content creators that we'll have to listen to, or so I mean the added pressure of the Bears playing the Packers, a lot of it is between friends, family, and social media that adds the extra pressure for fans. I mean, Bears fans and Packers fans, but there's good news. I mean, let me give you some stats. Playoff teams that lose their regular season finale are 22-5 in their home playoff openers since 2011. So 22-5. That's definitely in the Bears' favor. If you're to compare the kickers, we have the better kicker. Santos is 25 of 30 on field goals this year. He's 4 of 6 on attempts of 50 yards or more. Why is it? Hold on a second here.
But those guys were 6 for 6 in that last game at Soldier Field. That was impressive. McManus and Santos.
Yeah, sorry. It was, and then McManus is 24 of 30. But he's only 6 for 12 on field goals of 40 yards or more.
Yeah.
So we have an advantage in the kicking game. We have the trends are on our side for this game. The only thing is the defense.
I have additional to
is
that.
trending downwards. And that's yeah. Go ahead. You got additional good news
in his time with the Bears. Cairo Santos. Okay, just real quick. We all know off the top of our head what is the percentage of a successful onside kick in the NFL?
7%.
Not much. For Cairo's 50%.
What? Yes. What is it for Cairo Santos?
50%.
50% in his Bears career. That is specifically his Bears career. I don't know what his career
He's a
stats
master
are
of the dirty
outside
kick.
of it.
Yeah.
But look, all I got to say is increasing that number from 7 to 50 is real freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
So you take that.
Yep. The weather's supposed to be nasty.
Nasty.
The closer we get to kickoff, temperatures around freezing, Windy City get gusts.
I thought this was interesting as
snow
well.
too, right?
Yep. The snow showers around 7 o'clock.
So I looked into this because I thought it was interesting. Dome teams over the last decade are 1-14 when going on the road and it's below 40. Unfortunately for the Bears, there was only one dome team, and they're technically not a dome team. They're a canopy team, which is
in the
slightly
NFC
different.
or in
the NFC.
Okay.
That's the Rams,
And the
right?
Super Bowl will be played outdoors as well. So, unfortunately, bear weather might not bear as much of an advantage as we think it will in these playoffs.
Who is the one dome team?
Rams.
The Rams? Okay.
The Rams. And again, it's technically a canopy team.
Right.
Your other teams with the dome are in the AFC, being the Chargers, again,
Texans.
also a canopy team. And the Texans are the only true dome team.
Yep.
I forgot about them. I forgot they were in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Ooh, they're my dark horse Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know they have a really good defense.
Spoiler
but
alert.
I keep forgetting about them.
They're starting to get healthier on offense too.
Mr. Defense doesn't matter. I think their defense might take them to a championship.
Yeah, I talked about how you could get the Texans at plus 550 to be AFC champions on DraftKings.
It's good,
I'm like,
bets,
if
man.
you
It's
get to
good,
that
Dad.
game, you could say you put $100 or down on that bet for 550, to win 550, and then you catch the Texans against someone, say like the Jaguars. Then you could bet, the Jaguars would come out, at least with whatever you bet on the Jaguars, either 550 or plus whatever you bet for the Jaguars. So either way, you're winning, something if you hedge on that bet. But yeah, they're dangerous. You got Nico Collins and a lot of good receivers for CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks defense, though, I think is
Very good.
would pose some problems for a lot of teams.
Who's the superstar on that team again?
On defense? They kind of have like 3 or 4 defensive linemen with around 6-7 sacks each. So they're getting pressured. Leonard Williams is on the defensive line.
Sam
The best
Darnold.
pass rusher is DeMarcus Lawrence. Sam Darnold is a guy who you could all go to shit with. You know, he turns into a pumpkin sometimes.
So there's no real superstar on the defensive line, is what you're saying.
I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence is nothing to sneeze at. He's getting a little long in the tooth, but man, he's been a quality pass rusher for many years.
Well, what I'm hearing is spreading the load is better than investing 2 first-round picks and $150 million in one player.
Yep, that's true.
It depends, though. It depends, though, because it depends because Myles Garrett. And if you're a team that is on the border, on the brink of it, now I don't believe the Packers were ever were. I don't think their window is that open. They're only making the playoffs by the 7th seed, and it's still the case, right? But if you're a team and if you're a team that's on the border, trust me, Myles Garrett is invaluable to a team that is right there. He's invaluable. You know what I mean? And there are tons of teams that would. I guarantee you right now, there's at least 12 teams that would be like, yeah, I'll give up whatever for him.
I think there's about 31 teams that would give up whatever for him.
Look, since the Packers game, the Packers did attack our middle of the field with players like Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and even Bo Melton had a touchdown against us.
Yeah.
They kind of gave the blueprint, and then the 49ers. And then this last week, it really, really came to a head with the Lions players running wild everywhere. I was just like, all right, Goff is throwing. Before he even lets the pass go, I know somebody's going to be open in that game, man. It was like the worst feeling. I was texting with Dan Aguirre. I'm just like, all right, they're throwing here. It's gonna be a completed pass, Danny. But how would you guys look? We all know the Bears defense is trending downward. They got to pick it up. But what could they do on defense versus the Packers on Saturday? We mentioned play Tyreek Stevenson more, and I agree he's a better sticky cover guy. What about DeMarco Jackson? Man, dude had like 15 tackles like twice and was NFC Defensive Player of the Week 1 week. And instead of playing man, I think we got to go to more zone defense. Maybe more three safety looks, Danikin, and Dennis Allen, I think, should blitz more, just to he didn't blitz much against the Lions. We got torched, man. It was like, I know we had some sacks and stuff, and Andrew Billings got a sack on David Montgomery, who was a halfback running a halfback option pass. But what would you guys do to try and help the Bears defense versus the Packers? What would you say, Danikin?
Man, the Bears have so many issues, in my opinion, on defense, right? And I've said it all along. They're an opportunistic defense. So if you give them the option to make a play, they're going to make the play. They're going to catch it. Green Bay's defensive coordinator talked about how the Bears have ball skills. Guys have ball skills. They'll catch the ball rather than drop them in most cases. So once again, I think the biggest thing is to create some opportunities. Like Zim said, Jordan Love is going to give us an opportunity or two. It's up to us to maximize the potential of that. So, you know what I mean? Also, manufacture a pass rush. You know what I mean? That's something that Dennis Allen, he did a little bit of by sending C.J. Gardner-Johnson, during some of those games or blitzing with somebody or that guy. You know what I mean? T.J. Edwards would come in on a blitz or Edmonds would come in on a blitz. You have to manufacture a pass rush against this team and put Jordan Love in a situation where he has to make a quick decision, and he'll give us an opportunity.
I don't think blitzing is necessarily the right way to go with Jordan Love because all the numbers seem to suggest he's actually very good against the blitz. So if you can generate the pass rush with
they didn't blitz against the Lions because the guy who is really good against the blitz was torching us though. Yeah. But he torched us anyways, Jared Goff. But yeah.
And what happened to the third down defense that was all everybody was praising early in the year. The Lions, I think, only had like 2 fourth downs the whole game. It's like they've got to get them off the field. You can't. It's great that they kept that high scoring Lions offense out of the end zone, but it took them 10 minutes to get it. It's like that was the whole
quicker. The drives were long.
That fourth down at the 2-minute warning, the Bears should have gone for it because they weren't going to get the ball back the rest of the game. That was it. And so they've got to get them off the field on third down like they were earlier in the year. And whatever you can do to speed up Jordan Love's decision-making, because sometimes that's not very good when it's sped up. But I don't know if blitzing is necessarily the answer, because for whatever reason, he knows exactly where to go when there's a fifth or sixth man coming at him.
Only during Toyotathon.
Oh, okay.
Flores, on Minnesota defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, he has a lot of success with exotic blitz. Dennis Allen used to be known for that with New Orleans, but we didn't see a lot in the Lions game. I would like to see some exotic blitz packages, maybe try and catch the Packers off guard. Zim, over this entire season, the Bears' defensive backfield has been, just decimated by injuries. And now, we had a lot of defensive backs, man, and we still went through so many injuries.
All of them?
Yeah. But losing Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon hurt in more ways than we can imagine, because Jalen Johnson does not look fully healthy, like in this last game against the Lions. Kyler Gordon, who possibly might return Saturday, he might not look better than Johnson out there either. That's why I said I'm lobbying for Tyreek Stevenson to play more in this game. Don't know whether he's in the doghouse or not. It's perplexing. Nahshon Wright can't cover the little smaller, speedy receivers. He's more of a boundary corner. And I don't know if these last 2 weeks he played himself out of a bigger contract, to be honest with you. And Jalen Johnson, man, that game, he looked like a liability out there.
Yeah, but it's his first game back off of injury.
Yep.
So you gotta cut him some slack there. His first full game back, I'll say, because he has had a couple, but he's clearly still shaking off rust. I don't know. I think you just generally you got to look at the tape from previous games. The Bears have on average scored 26 points a game, 25.9. So I think you go back and look at the tape in every single game that the Packers have scored less than 26 points, which is actually a significant number of them this season. By my count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And if you want to put it all the way up to 27, that gives you 10 to 11 games this season. That gives you 11 games worth of tape to figure out how do we keep them from putting up this many points, and how do we score as many points as we normally do. And, that's going to be the tougher part, because the Packers don't often give up that 26 points that you're averaging, including in the two games that you played against them. You averaged 21.5 points against them, almost a whole touchdown less than you normally score. So I think the Bears need to look at the tape both offensively and defensively, not just one or the other, and really figure out what are we doing differently from other teams, and how do we put this together to figure it all out, because it's the only way they're going to win, and they have to outsmart them. Because as much as we want to sit here and think that Ben Johnson has this, mystery page at the back of his playbook that says postseason, and he turns it over to that and says, now we're going to install all this
I hope
shit.
so. Yeah. I hope
well,
so.
You think Matt LaFleur doesn't have the same thing in his playbook?
And that you guys kind of talked about it, about how the Bears may have been sandbagging a little bit against the Lions. And I really want to ask you guys if you thought that was the case, because although it talked about how maybe they were a little vanilla, and Zim had said maybe they were a little vanilla, against the Lions, maybe not to give away anything to their next playoff opponent. Do you think that was the case? Because, I can't see Ben Johnson doing that against Dan Campbell.
I don't think it was intentionally vanilla. However, has anybody looked at Caleb Williams' passing chart from that game?
I bet you have.
I know he had 212 yards passing and 2 touchdowns.
Do we know how many pass attempts he had, just offhand?
I can get you that.
It wasn't many. They only had 50 plays.
Okay.
Yeah,
so probably 28 passes, I'd be guessing, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I think it was like he completed. It was like 20 for 28. Was it?
Something like that.
Yeah, because it was one of his higher percentage games.
Well,
but,
anyone care to venture?
20 of 33 for 2 touchdowns.
33 passes. 33 passes.
Okay.
Anybody care to guess how many of those went to the left side?
1.
Was it the DJ Moore bomb? Was that's about it?
DJ Moore bomb. Yep.
3 passes. Who was playing left tackle?
Theo Benedict.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I meant to say that like the Ozzie Trapillo out for the game might have affected the team a lot more than
the man threw 3 of 33 passes to the left side. Everything else was either to the right side or between the numbers. That should tell you everything you need to know about their game plan and why it went the way they did.
How many times? I think he only sacked once in this game. I think
only sacked one time.
and that was against Darnell Wright. Where Aiden Hutchinson beat him.
It was.
But they helped. Benedict had help through that game, but
they still stayed away from his side.
Right.
They did not look toward his side of the field.
If they feel like they have to do that, I have a problem. I have a little bit more confidence in who Ben Johnson is than that. I believe that he should be able to manufacture something more than throwing the ball to that side of the field 3 times just because you got a backup left tackle in there. And
it makes me feel like it was a very late decision.
Can't do that, then it's a problem. I think Ben Johnson, over the course of the last couple of games, he's had some blunders and some mistakes in his game plan calling. Right.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like Bears fans, they'll get mad at me and things like that. I'll say this, I'll say that. Somebody will get mad at me. I'm just calling it how I see it. I'm being honest. I'm being 100% honest. I give him his credit. Right. I give him his credit, but I'm also gonna question when things are not, looking on the up and up. And to me, if you went in there with any thought of let me hold something back, then why are we playing the freaking game?
That's why
forfeit the game.
I don't think
roll the helmets on the field and walk away if that's the case, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. All right. So we're all pretty much in agreement they weren't sandbagging.
I hope they weren't.
I also want to, as Zim brought up the nice stats for Caleb Williams: 13 targets, 10 catches. Out of 29 targets, 13 targets went to one Bears receiver.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the receivers, he had half of the Bears receptions, 10 out of 20. 13 targets and 10 catches and a touchdown, man. He had a hell of a game. And I'm worried against the Packers that if he keeps, just keep throwing to Colston the whole game, we're not gonna win like the Lions, we did against the Lions game. Couldn't do it, but we need more contributions from other players. If Rome Odunze plays, how many snaps how many routes do you think he's going to run?
That's a good question.
Odunze is great in the passing game, but where I personally believe at this point in time he's more valuable is the running game. He makes blocks that other guys don't make. And it doesn't matter who it is on this team. Yep. He's going to open some stuff up for that running game. And as far as him getting downfield and getting open, Caleb spread the ball around all year. He's found guys that he likes in specific games, and it has not translated at all from game to game. We saw this last year too. DJ Moore caught 3 touchdowns in a game last year and then went on a dry streak for like 3 games afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb finds the hot hand the same way that the coaches try to find the hot hand with the players that they're calling plays for. Caleb has this, that's like his ability as a quarterback. In addition to his clutch gene is he has this trust gene where he knows who's on that day and who's not on, and he maximizes the guys around him in that way. It's something that we've asked for in a quarterback for a long time in Chicago, and it's to make the players around him better. And I feel like Caleb does that when guys are having good games, and when they're not having good games, he says, it's cool. Somebody else has your back. And like, this team is so unselfish that they're okay with that as well. That Roma Dunze will say, I had 2 bad drops. He had every right not to throw me the ball after that. That, you know, DJ Moore will say, I got bumped off the ball on a deep one. He didn't throw me another deep one after that. You know?
So DJ Moore came back from injury. He was really little more than a decoy. I forget what game that was.
Yeah, I mean, this team is so unselfish. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm not worried at all about anybody locking in on anybody too early or too late. I just hope that they can execute when clutch time comes, because I have a feeling that this game, just like so many others in this season, is going to come down to the wire, and they're going to have to execute when it matters most. I hope it. I don't want it to. I really hope that the Bears go up like 14-0 and just go on cruise control the rest of the game. But let's be real. That's not this team this year.
Been hoping
this game is going to come down to the final 5 minutes. Yeah. We all know it.
And that's the case. That is the case. But here's what I will say: the Bears cannot. And this was like, I gave this to Aldo as a bonus point. That you know what I mean. But the Bears cannot sleepwalk through 3 quarters again. You cannot do that in the playoffs.
That's the biggest thing.
The teams don't. You know what I mean. And I understand
that's what worries me.
He has a clutch gene, and I love the clutch gene. I love it. But we cannot enter a 4th quarter down 0-16 again. Not in the playoffs. You can't do that. So you have to play with a sense of urgency throughout the game, and they have to be better in quarters 1 through 3, and then allow the clutch gene to take over in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And I'm fine with it. But if we sleepwalk through that first 3 quarters, it's not going to be pretty, man. Because you're just not going to be able to come back from stuff like that. Not in playoff football, not in the weather with it. The weather's going to be nasty. I mean, it's just not, you know, you got to step on the football field with a sense of urgency.
Which team can run the ball better?
The Bears can. Right. And I think with Odunze coming back, think about it. The Bears had that game against the Eagles where they were running all over it. That was Odunze's last game, right? How well have they run the ball since then?
Yeah.
No, the best game we ran the ball was against the Eagles.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
If we can run the ball like that against the Packers, we'll win the game.
Yeah.
No question.
And I would like to defend the offense by ripping the defense again.
They just put up 16 points. Please don't.
Well, we're talking about sleepwalking. When they're not going out there for like 20 minutes, it's like that puts a lot of pressure on them to get something done right away because their time is so precious. Yeah. It's like if they don't, and it's another 20 minutes before they get the ball again, it's like, so I'm calling on the defense to get the opponent off of the field, get Green Bay off of the field so the offense can get out there and get some sort of a rhythm. Maybe if you win the toss, don't defer it. Take the ball right away.
Yeah. To Danikin's point, in his first point of his 5 things today, to bring this all the way full circle back to the very beginning of the show, these slow starts are ultimately what's killing them. Like, you got spotted a 7-point lead in San Francisco and found yourself down 14-7.
Yep.
That is why you lost the game. You did not lose that game because Caleb Williams didn't execute in the last 2 minutes. You lost that game because you got spotted 7 points on a handicap and couldn't overcome that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense has got to start better than it has been. And they were so good at it early in the year. They were so good at jumping out to early leads, at getting touchdowns. They scored on the opening possession, or on their opening possession of the game. I want to say like 14 out of 17 games or something silly, ridiculous like that. I don't remember exactly what the number was.
Last year?
This season. Like it was a very high clip. And 2 of the more recent ones were the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. They've had an MO of starting and in the first 15, 20 scripted plays or whatever it may be, they the first 2 drives they did well. I could see them drive down the field, they kick a field goal, drive down the field, kick another field goal or get a touchdown, whatever. And you could see, okay, and then the lull would come where they would die down through the second quarter. Into the third quarter, they're dead. They're just laying there, not doing much. And then in the fourth quarter, they come on again. And now we're in a situation where the last 2 or 3 weeks it's just been dead for the entire first 3 quarters, and then they come alive in the fourth. It's wonderful that they come alive
in the second.
Yeah. It's great that they do come alive, but I just want to see consistency. And Fitz, it goes hand in hand with what you're talking about. The defense has to get off the field, but the offense has to go out there and get more than a 3 and out so that your defense isn't thrown right back into the fire after being on the field for, 5 to 6 minutes or whatever it might be. So they have to give them a rest. Same way the defense has to be able to get off the field and put them in positions to move the ball as well.
It's called complementary football, and it's something they did very well early in the season that they haven't done as of late. A perfect example is around the 2-minute and 16 mark of this last game, where Kevin Byard picks off a ball, gives it to the offense in a 2-minute drill to go down and win the game. It's literally a tie game. It's 16-16. Here's the ball, offense. Go win.
Yep.
Fuck.
The problem with that, though, the Bears weren't losing. It was tied. Had they been down 17-16, they would have gone down and kicked the field goal.
Oh, good.
Because they wouldn't have punted. They wouldn't have punted on 4th down.
So if they lose in the playoffs, we can hang our hat on.
Shouldn't have punted.
They were tied at 2 minutes left in the game.
Right. Exactly.
Hang the banner, boys.
Were you guys disappointed when they didn't go for it on 4th and 5?
Yes,
I know they
totally.
were
I knew they weren't getting the ball back.
Right. We all felt like the defense wasn't going to stop anybody.
Even the Lions' non-scoring drives were more than 2 minutes in that game. They weren't going to get the ball back.
Yeah.
And Ben basically had to get a 3 and out. He knew it too.
He knew it. Yep.
You had to get a 3 and out, which is the one thing you hadn't done that day.
Because had they given the ball back there on 4th down, Green Bay or Detroit's got a short field.
They score quick.
They were at the 30-yard line, 35-yard line.
So
give it to her quick.
Scores right away.
It's hard to go for it, and that's on your side of the field. 35.
Your defense isn't giving you it back. So
the game's over either way.
No, it's not, because you got your 3 timeouts. Detroit's going to score there in 2 or 3 plays. Instead of they ran a 10-play drive to get down to the field goal. So let them score right away, and then you get your next shot to try to score. That was my.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but you don't. That's I don't know.
I get what
I can't put the defense in that situation. I don't want to go out there. I know you're struggling, but I'm gonna make it even worse for you. Now you go out there and defend 35 yards.
It's better than defending 100 because they were giving up 100 yards.
It's the same. It's the same idea as playing. It's the same idea as playing for a field goal rather than a touchdown. It's the same idea as playing for overtime rather than the win. I get where Danikin's coming from on this one. To basically concede points to the other team is to basically it's a loser mentality, right? It's what Eberflus would have done. It's but it is you don't make that play. You don't go for it on 4th and 5 unless you are 100% sure that you're getting that first down. And the way the offense had performed up to that point, I don't know that you're 100% sure. So I kind of get where you're coming from. You kick the ball back to them, expect your defense to make a stop. Even if they haven't all day, you look at them and say, listen here, motherfuckers, and you have a heart-to-heart with them.
Time to get a stop.
Get it.
You don't look as somebody in a position of power. You don't ever want to start a conversation with listen here, motherfuckers. But sometimes you got to. All right. And that was a situation where you do. So
yep, nothing's over till we say it is. Right. That's right, Cliffy. All right,
it's
guys.
Tough, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough
one. It's 11 now. We all got to work tomorrow.
Don't remind me.
Go around the horn. A little last thoughts. Maybe a prediction, Fitzy.
Well, I'm predicting the Bears. I'm holding out hope all year that everything clicks against one of these teams, and I'm gonna hold out hope and say it clicks this week. So I'm gonna say Bears 28, Packers 13. It's gonna I don't know why. I have no evidence to suggest that it will be that way. I just think it will, and we're gonna move on and play the Rams the next week. We can play the Rams, right? Rams, one of the teams. Okay, I was just throwing that out.
Yeah, we probably would play the Rams next week.
Okay.
Either the Rams or the Niners.
They're playing Carolina. Is that okay? Yeah, so there's my prediction. Bears 28, Green Bay 13.
All right, Danikin.
That's good. I'm gonna say Chicago 24. I'm gonna say Green Bay 17. I think that the Bears will get this victory. I don't have a lot of fear of who Green Bay is anymore. What is it? 4 of the last 5 games have been one possession games, I guess, right?
It's come down to the last play, the last 4 games. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they're head and shoulder. Like I talked about Detroit. I said there was a gap between the teams because they dominated the Bears for the majority of the game. Green Bay hasn't dominated Chicago like that in quite some time, in my opinion. So I'm not afraid of them in that way. I believe that the Bears will win this game. I believe that they'll make get some things right. I think last week might have been a wake-up call when it comes to the offense and maybe having a sense of urgency on the football field. That's what I hope for. You know what I mean? So I think they'll win 24-17, and they'll go on to the second round of the playoffs.
Sim?
You guys are going to make me say it out loud.
You're picking the Packers?
I am.
What?
Ooh.
I'm out of here, man. I'll
Even
see y'all
I'm
later.
not picking the
I
Packers.
quit.
22-19 Packers on a walk-off. It's just it's the Bears. It's such a Bears way to end the season. And
That's
this
fair.
Bears team doesn't feel different enough yet. I want to say that they're over that hump, and this game is the one that will prove to me that this is a different team and that they are over the hump and that they have overcome all of this. But until they win this game, they're the same old Bears. And boo this man, but
boo this
22-19 Packers on a walk-off.
Zim, you remind me of old Terry Boers. You remember Terry Boers, guys?
Yeah, I love Terry.
When he wrote for the Sun-Times in 1988, NFC Championship game against the 49ers on a cold day, they had the panel give their predictions, and every one of the panel said Bears. It's bear weather, blah, blah, blah. Terry Boers said, screw bear weather. Joe Montana is better. He was the only one.
I was at that game.
Were you at that?
Yeah.
And I
I
hated it.
genuinely hope I'm wrong.
It was the
I
coldest
hated him
day
for it.
ever.
I was 13 and I couldn't stand the guy, but he was right.
Look, guys, my first memories of the Bears are watching Kyle Orton lose games and having my dad tell me, wait until Grossman gets healthy. He's going to make it all better. My first memories of the Bears are them losing the Super Bowl on my 14th birthday. All right. My memories of the Bears are Jay Cutler getting injured in the NFC Championship game and watching Caleb Haney throw a pick 6 to BJ Raji to basically seal the deal on what could have been the Bears' next trip to the Super Bowl.
You imagine a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl being Caleb Haney?
I have been conditioned. I have been conditioned over time like Pavlov's dog to expect this team to come up short in clutch situations. And that is why I say until they overcome this hump, and God, I hope they do, but I just can't do it yet. Guys,
he's after you, Zim. Danikin.
He is. I'm not
He's
looking
after
at my
Zim.
screen. I am not looking at my screen.
Tooch, can I say one thing now?
Yeah.
I understand what Zim is saying. I understand, but let me try to help you, Zim. Let me help you, right? The Bears have been breaking narratives all season long.
Yep.
Yes.
Like you said, Caleb has the clutch gene, right? He's got 6 fourth quarter comebacks this season alone, right? The Bears have won games with their defense, with special teams, they've broken narratives that the media has pushed, that fan bases have pushed all season long. This is just another one. This is another hurdle that you're going to get over, and the Bears are going to win this game, and they're going to do their thing this week, all right?
Look, all I'm saying is if they really wanted to break narratives, 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
They were almost there.
And they were this close to both of them. And that's why I say it feels like they're this close to winning this game.
I mean,
I need one more. I don't know, man. I don't know. And that's where I'm at with it. I don't know.
I get
what you're saying. He needs to see more.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. If I pick the Bears to lose this game, I cannot be let down this weekend. All right. If I go into this, and that's where it ends. That's where it ends.
Reverse psychology.
I don't want this team to let me down one more time. It has been a hell of a season. It has been so much fun doing this show with you guys and doing this all season long. And this way, if I predict them to lose and they lose, at least I can go into the offseason saying we're a year ahead of schedule. We got 1 extra game and 2 extra wins over what everybody said we would. Next season, we're gonna take this shit and make it our own.
I got you.
I get where you're coming from.
I hate it. I hate myself right now, but
I am gonna take the Bears.
I still got to go to work tomorrow, so.
And I think it's gonna come. It's gonna be in the weather. I think it'll be a lower scoring game, but we do have that stat on that I gave the trend of teams who lose their season finale, their home season finale, their home playoff opener. They're 22-5. I like that. I know that Vegas has set the total. The total opened at 46 points for the game. It hasn't moved much. It's sitting at 45.5. As far as line movement, the Packers opened as a 1-point dog. They've moved to a 1-point favorite. So it'll be interesting to see when or if there's sharp money coming in that would go. Packers could be -3 at kickoff for whatever reason. Just the Bears haven't looked good. But I mean, in all honesty, the Packers haven't looked good either. They're on a 4-game losing streak. The Bears are on a 2-game losing streak.
Mhm.
I like our chances at home, man. I think we have the better field goal kicker as well. I laid that out. Cairo Santos, I think he might have a huge role in this game, and he's been clutch this season. That game it was the first game against the Packers, or second game against the Packers, where he played the frickin' win like a champ. Man, it was beautiful. So hopefully that comes into play again. As McManus has not kicked that well this year, I don't think he's as good a kicker in Soldier Field as Santos. That might be the edge.
3 for 3 too. He was the same as Santos. So
yeah,
he was 3 for 3.
Yep, it was. And then we have the clutch gene. I think it'll come down to like Danikin said, no slow start, and defense has got to get either turnovers or stops on third down. I think we'll be okay then. So I'll say 20-17 Bears.
I'm going to change my score.
All right.
In the interest of destroying narratives that we were talking about, I'm going to say Bears 22, Packers 21, and they win on a McManus triple doink. Not a double doink. It's going to be a triple doink. He's going to miss one for 42 yards. Triple doink.
McManus playing pinball.
Start calling you Fitzo Dabrowski out here.
I'm trying. I guess it would have to bounce twice on the bottom bar.
I don't know, but I don't know what. But it's
good.
It bounces once off the post, once off the crossbar, and once off a Staley.
There you go.
I guess that we could count that as a doink. Yeah, what will be sad though is if the Bears lose, that the show Bare Their Souls probably takes a little hiatus. We
Oh man,
we
you
gotta
want to talk about burying our
Oh, we
souls?
gotta have a funeral
week
march
will
if
be-
they
yeah.
lose, man.
Next week for sure, because we'll be back to recap this game. Hopefully, we're doing a pregame again next week.
Definitely.
So, all right, fellas, what do you say we get out of here?
Sounds good.
All right.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other
Y'all
side.
take it
That's
easy.
right.
Bear down.
Yep, bear down.
That's right.
Bear down.